Hello, world. Welcome back to MIRRORMOURN. I am your dungeon master, Esper, and we have a pretty tense start to this session here. So we're all very eager to see what becomes of Wallykost. Why don't you guys introduce your characters real quick?
Hello, I'm Warsor, and I play Wallykost for the moment. We'll see what happens.
I am Vince. I am playing Vapor. I am waiting on bated breath to see what happens here today.
I'm Nick. I play Adriel, and I am also excited to see what happens because depending on what happens, Adriel is I don't know what Adriel's gonna do.
And I'm Adam, and out of character, I'm as excited as everyone else. But in character, I'm Aygir, who is oblivious. Because he
All
just
of us
knows
are
Walykos
oblivious.
went somewhere.
To be clear, everyone but Wallykost is oblivious what is happening to Wallykost.
Yeah.
I think there's some halflings and a half-orc that might know. But other than that, yeah.
Okay, so I think Vapor got voted for inspiration at the end of last session.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so Vapor's got the inspiration. You all have traveled from Barnacle across the small island. You went across the tether. You went to Sandbeer. That's where you ended up. It's this castle town which has its own port called Sandport. You have not gone into actual Sandbeer itself. You haven't gone into the town. You haven't passed the town wall. They've got some strict regulations in order for you to get in there. So you've just stayed in Sandport. And you are looking to find halflings that are here for the moment as part of the flotilla. Yeah, the floating floating halfling seafaring settlement town really is what it is. So there's some of the halflings from the flotilla here, and halflings are bold and audacious and plucky enough to just might be willing to take up the task of ferrying you to the accursed Black Rock Isle, which once held a giant stronghold, is now a accursed ruin, and you're trying to head off, defeat, neutralize, somehow prevent these thralls of Belvander from also exploring Black Rock Isle and potentially claiming some relics of great power from that prior war between elves and giants all those many years ago. So Walykos in Sandport went into a seedy, I said tavern last time, but properly it's a fume hovel is what it is.
A fume hovel?
Yeah. Smoke is the main
like a smoke shop, kind of.
It's tavern like.
Smoke den.
Yeah, it's tavern like, but drinking of spirits and such is generally not a common practice amongst the civilized races. They think that's more of like a thing for dirty dwarven tunnel rats, or maybe goblin folk or orc folk. Good refined people, they smoke Zagape and Dream and maybe even Grove Sheen. So there you went, Walykos, into a at night, smoky, hazy, dim lit fume hovel with.
I thought it was during the day. I thought we were doing this when we got to town. I thought it was during the day.
I think we arrived in the evening.
Yeah, you arrived just after sundown in San.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was actually
I must
dark
have
out.
forgotten that part. Gotcha.
You did a bit of asking around, and you also invoked your serendipitous encounter, and you were pointed in the direction of a table that had 3 halflings. The main contact, or soon-to-be contact, or hopeful contact, is one Maxwell Fruck. And they are these 3 halflings. There's Maxwell, there's another halfling guy, and then there's a halfling girl. They're all young-ish adults, but younger adults. They have some amount of equipment. You can tell that they have a bit of light armor, maybe some quilted type armor, and they do have some implements on them. You're not inside the city, so you're not restricted in terms of carrying stuff, armaments, right? And you're in this seedy corner of Sandport anyhow. But someone else was at the table visiting, let's say, these halflings. There was an orc, a rather muscly, aggressive orc who has like an orcish sword and a scabbard, and he was having some kind of argument. He was bearing down upon Maxwell, and Maxwell was saying something to him in this. It's giant tongue is what it is.
And then he grabbed him by the throat and picked him up
by the throat, started to pick him up and got in his face very threateningly. You came with your trident, unfortunately,
just to threaten him, and that's when I got shot in the back.
Unfortunately, not passing on a perception check, and Walykos, and there's a and instantaneously an excruciating pain flares up in your back.
I'm pretty sure it went right through my heart because it was a critical, so it's like right there.
Well, I wouldn't say right through your heart, but it's
close.
Hit.
It's a critical
hit. So you are
like it's like touching your heart a little bit, like it's
you're
stuck
badly.
in the blood.
Well, everything. It's like there's pain shooting through you, excruciating pain.
It's
lose consciousness. Everything goes black.
One part of the arrow's in my front, one's in the back. It's gone through me. Yeah.
And
all the way.
Everything goes black.
Yeah.
And I need you to roll an initiative check. I know that but
no, this is for death saves. I gotcha.
Yeah, we need to know when you make the death saves. Yeah.
7+.
I just gotta say I love that. It's just like, hey, so Wallykost, you're unconscious. Roll
11.
initiative.
A total of 11.
What is your dexterity score?
+4 okay. Mod. 18 score if you need a score.
Yes. Okay, got it. All right. So I have my notes. Obviously, you're completely blacked out and dying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make a death saving throw, Walykos.
Yep. Natural 20.
Are you?
You're back.
I just threw the die and it just landed on 20.
I guess you're not unconscious anymore.
Oh my God.
I was actually, as soon as I threw it, I'm like, what if this is a nat 1? This is where I die,
Well played, Wallykost. Well played.
All right. Here, I'm going to do a thing.
Well, I guess it's time for my revenge. Self-revive. Nice.
I
think that's the first self-revive we've ever had, isn't it? Like, I can't.
No. I know. Aygir Carderock did it one time.
The card.
In this campaign, we have not done it. Carderock in the other campaign did it twice in the same damn session.
And I did not roll a natural 20 again for 3 more sessions after that. And
that was
karma.
Yeah, but this is the first. This is the first one for this campaign, though.
Let us mark the occasion.
That is serendipitous in a very mysterious.
That's your serendipitous encounter, not dying.
Nice.
Your eyes, flick open. It's real hazy. It's dingy and smoky in here.
Well, I feel like I kind of passed out for a second, but then I come to, like, I jerk myself back awake because it's like, I'm not going to die here. Is kind of the thought going through my head. Not like this.
Yeah, not like this. So you feel this crossbow bolt in you. You've got excruciating pain. You're on the ground. You see this brute of an orc. He's got your trident in one hand, and you hear these other orcs talking to him, like from behind you. They're saying something to him, and he's looking at you, and he's got this look of, what just happened? Who are you? It's this disoriented / boiling fury. And so the orcs are there's some other orc voices shouting in giant to him. You hear some people shouting, like people are shooting in here, right? So people are running, overturning tables. Some people are like diving behind the counter.
Mechanical question while that's all going on.
Yeah.
If I make my death saving throw with a nat 20, do I get my turn or do I not get my turn?
You do. It actually happens at the beginning of your turn.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
But
like
yeah,
it's a different save throw that happens at the beginning.
Tell me anything else I need to know before I do that. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
All right, so
I'm prone. He's got my one weapon. He's got the magic weapon, but not all my weapons.
Scimitar. He's picked it up. He has a sword and a scabbard. It's a good sized orc blade at his hip. He is armored. He's got some kind of orcish chainmail on, along with his clothing. So a tough, muscle ripped orc with this dark, mottly gray brown skin, these long, unshaven, unkempt orcish look. Seems pretty not a proper city dwelling chap. Let me tell you that. And he's right bearing down over you with these other orcs from behind you shouting. And then there's the 3 halflings who they are like in the midst of what just happened. Reacting, trying to orient themselves.
Okay. Well, the first thing I want to do, and this may or may not be my last, you never know. This could be my last action because all it takes is one crazy shot from a rogue who's been, holding an action. Do I see who shot me? That's a good point, actually.
Okay, so you check behind.
Yeah, I check. I look around.
There are 2
other orcs.
There are 2 figures, across the room on the other side, in the shadows, in the smoke. They're hooded. They seem to be orcs, probably orcs, and they've got hand crossbows loaded and trained on you.
All right, then
readied to shoot, readied actions.
Then I inhale the deepest breath that I can with the pain that I've got going on, and Wallykost just breathes out this, and mist shoots out of his mouth and just explodes around him, and I've just created a fog cloud from my fade into mist ability.
All right, thick, opaque mist emanates
that
from you, obscuring sight.
Paragon. I want to make sure I understand. I'm pretty sure that's my action.
Somewhere across the fume hovel, an elf exhales a great cloud of grove sheen. It's a wizard!
Well, and then I'm going to probably stand up and try to... I can use my bonus action to hide, actually, now that I'm obscured. Fade into mist gives me the bonus action hide, and I'll move and hide somewhere in the mist, if that makes sense.
Sure does. Okay, so the mist you've created, I'm just pulling it up.
It's like a 20-foot radius or something. It's a lot.
15-foot radius.
15-foot radius.
30-foot diameter. Pretty good size. Okay, you gain the
ones.
Okay, so you just passively can disengage or hide as a bonus action. And
yes, because of that.
As an action, you can make the mist. All right.
So, action was the mist. Bonus action to hide. Move action, stand up and get to a better hiding spot, possibly behind a table.
Mist, but you don't stay exactly where you would fall.
Correct, because I assume they might just pull their triggers, and try to shoot the same square where I was. So, if they can't see me, they have to guess what square I'm in.
The orcs shout something highly concerned to one another. Well played. I think that was a pretty good...
I considered all my options, and that's the one that's least likely to get me one shot.
Also, don't forget, as Trickster, Paragon, you can expend your Hand of Fate anytime.
Correct.
To get that free dodge or hide or move or dash thing. Okay.
I just at the moment I'm going to rely on
before.
I'm going to rely on it for the moment to hide myself.
Okay. The halflings, they mutter to each other in their tongue. Now in MIRRORMOURN, halfling is not exactly this super separate own language. Think of it kind of like this spin-off dialect-ish of Elvish, right? Because that's the main language that people speak. If you're not giant aligned, you're elf aligned. So they speak in their tongue, which you can maybe make out a couple things, but unless you're proficient in the language, you can't really understand it well.
I am not proficient in half.
So the halflings, quickly mutter something to one another. You hear them overturning their table, and there's other people still scurrying and scampering and shouting and trying to figure out what's going on. People wondering if are they in danger. So there's some screams in the fume hovel.
Yep.
You hear the halflings messing with maybe gear that they have on themselves. Maybe they've drawn some
doing their thing
themselves.
How big is the area? Like this fog closet covering the entire shop? Is it covering like
Not
1/4 of it?
But it's definitely a sizable portion of it.
Would you say it's a fourth, a half, a third? Like a third? Okay, that just gives me a rough idea of where the rest of the areas are.
And you came in through the front door,
and then went to a corner. They're in a corner.
There's some door to the back, but it's it's like behind the counter, and staff go in and out of it. So
cool.
Who knows what that leads to. All right. The orc, the one that's right close to you.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Who you boss?"
Is he like? Does he see me when I'm hidden in the mist, or is
you hear his footsteps in the mist? Clunk, clunk.
Yeah.
You hear him draw his actual sword. Who you boss?
I'm going to. Well, can I speak without giving away my position? Is a question of how does the rules work in your eyes?
He would probably hear where you're located.
Then I'm not going to speak. I'm not going to answer.
A perception check, but it'd be super easy.
No, I agree with you. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. So I'm not going to say anything. So he can say that, but there's no answer.
Yep. Why don't you actually make your stealth
check?
I think that's going to be the next
important
thing.
Okay, it's not great, but I am trained. I've only got 12, so I've rolled pretty poorly.
Okay. So you'd say nothing, you hold still, and you hear the orc step to where you had been on the ground. Yeah. You're still in a terrible amount of pain. You feel blood trickling down your back. You can feel that warm, sticky liquidness dripping. Like
I've still got a bolt in me. Like it's not like it disappears magically.
You're doing what you can to stay still. Yeah. Meanwhile, Aygir, Vapor, and Adriel, you're not here. You're waiting on Wallykost to come back. I should at least just briefly check in. Is there anything you think that your characters would be doing befitting of your characters?
Comrades, Wallykost is in danger. I can feel it from the ether.
Vapor would be writing a letter home, like he promised the healer that he would.
Could you remind me exactly where we're located again? Are we just? I forgot exactly where we were at.
Yes. So you are in Sandport, which is the port or wharf district.
I believe it's called Sandbeer. That's what I wrote down.
Castle town of Sandbeer. Here's the map. So you're here. That's the location that you're at. We never.
Okay, so we're like on the outside. We're like on the outside of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we never got specific. Very specific as to where exactly in the port the rest of you were. So you could be on the outskirts of the port, like near a wagon station. You could be in the actual port, just walking around, taking in the sights and sounds. You could be chatting up an NPC. You could be eating somewhere. You could be smoking at a different fume hovel.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that, Adriel would probably just,
you could just be standing around waiting on Wallykost to come.
Yeah, I'd probably just be waiting on Wallykost. I don't think Adriel would be doing anything in particular. I mean, he might be like sharpening his daggers and just, getting things like that prepared and ready, but nothing in particular per se.
Aygir is smoking a small pipe from his just own personal stash of agape on a street corner somewhere, and between pulls is He has the left spalder of his armor in his hand. He's engraving some cloud steppe native patterns of cloud leopards and Xena riders hunting with kite sails beneath stylized depictions of the sun and stuff like that.
So the three of you are essentially waiting for Wallykost and doing your own personal, minding your own personal affairs.
And at least in character, Aygir, of course, has no idea what's going on with Wallykost. Right. No sixth sense about that.
Sandport is still fairly active at this hour. It's not long after sundown at all. So there's evening crews loading and unloading things. The watch is, changing shifts. And there are people merrymaking at the fume hovels and even some on the streets. And there are people that live here as well. As many wharf districts tend to go, it's not a really high class at all. It's more, sailors and industrial type stuff. So you're maybe just waiting and doing your personal things and taking in the sights and surroundings and hoping Wallykost has success. So Wallykost, this orc, he has not found you, and he's essentially seemed to be asking who you're working for, and you've smartly kept your lips shut.
Yeah.
And the two cloaked ones are not firing blindly into the mist.
Probably a wise idea because their leader is somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And he'd probably kill them if they hit him.
So,
is it back to me?
Back to you.
Okay, cool. I'm going to drink my healing potion. That's my next action that I'm going to do. Now, I don't remember in your game, is that a bonus action or do you consider it a full action for the potion?
Full action, yeah. No house rules regarding healing potions.
Let me get my D4s here. So I will adjust my position to get better cover, possibly like a table or something. Like I feel like I'm crouching.
You can spend a bonus action to do a new hide.
I would like to do that. I feel like I want to keep moving, and that's pretty good. I got 7 hit points back, so I'm up to 8. So
okay. Yeah.
I'm not completely dead.
The healing potion ameliorates your agony. And in my mind, it probably also kind of forces the bolt out and closes up some of the flesh and tissue and stuff that had been punctured. Your bleeding stems to a very slow dripping. It's a great relief, magical even.
I will draw my dagger while I do that and just get ready to try and take advantage of this mist. If I'm hoping the orc will be confused for one more round, so I get back to me and then I can do something that's not just keeping myself alive. So we'll see.
Well, so far you've done pretty good. But why don't you roll this new stealth check?
Yes, new stealth check with my bonus action. That's much better. That's a 22. So
okay.
I feel like I'm kind of circling around the orc because he let me know where he was with his voice. I'm kind of circling him right now is kind of what's happening.
You circle around him, and he's a large fellow, as many orcs are, and you can even hear the clinking and jingly sound of his mail as he takes his steps, and he's got these big, heavy, muddy boots on too. And actually, they wouldn't be muddy in this. This is kind of a sandier region. Anyways, he's got big boots on.
Yeah,
heavy boots.
I got you.
What is your thought going through Walykos's mind? Are you thinking
I want my trident back?
Okay.
Is one of my first thoughts. And I have an idea on how to get that back. It's a cat's claw maneuver. And I also am kind of pissed that he shot me in the back. I don't want to just fight them straight up, but if I can take pot shots at them without much risk to myself and send them running after I've gotten my trident back, I'm okay with that, So their leader, though, he's giving me that trident back. That's my next move.
Okay. Very nice. So these orcs seem quite threatening. So I imagine you're not wanting to take them lightly at all.
No, I'm
that
gonna.
trident back, rightly so. Cat's Claw is an option, or just a good old sleight of hand check.
Yes, either or.
So, or you could just grab hold of him and try to like grapple it out of his hands, but I don't think you want to do it that way.
That's not really my style. I think the Cat's Claw, the advantage of the Cat's Claw is I also get an attack on him, which will do damage as well as steal it from him.
Okay.
So,
all right. So we'll see what happens with that. The halflings. Well,
maybe I'll get a crit on him. Revenge.
Difficult in the mist, but not impossible.
Yeah.
The halflings. Let me quickly read a spell.
Well, the thing about the mist is if I can't see him and he can't see me, it cancels itself out.
I'm on the halflings now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, even with the spell, the halfling would need to see the orc. The main one, Maxwell, he says in something in the giant tongue, and he does what he can, and you hear the halflings. They run.
They run.
They just make a break for it.
Yep.
So there's something clearly between the orc and the halfling. You couldn't quite understand what's going on, and the halflings, they're getting out of here.
I'm so sorry about this. I have no idea what's going on. I'm out.
Let's go back to the orcs now.
You'll have your money later.
Okay, so
yeah, I'm curious how they're thinking.
To like reattempt and make an active searching check, they're going to spend an action to do that.
That's fine. The DC has been set.
Yeah.
22. So it's my last check.
Yeah. You hear footsteps approaching. One of the cloaked ones with a bit lighter steps. Okay. And this is one perception of 20.
Not quite enough. 22.
Oh, not quite enough. All right. So there is another orc in your midst, though.
Okay.
He, or maybe even she, is close by you. Has not discovered you, but you said you crouched behind an obstacle or an overturned table or something, and like. Instead of going on your side, he goes on the other side, but he's just like right there, probably within 5 feet of you.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
Another orc enters with a 21.
Not quite enough. I feel like they're both on opposite sides.
Yeah.
I mean, I turn side,
like his boot, like bumps into the table, like right next to you. Like
I feel like I turn sideways and just miss him. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like that close.
And it's impossible to see in the thick swirling vapors, but you're hearing them right next to you, and you even feel them like nudge the table right next to you.
Yep.
And they again are trying to say something to one another. Mm-hmm. The people in the fume hovel have quieted down. You think a lot of people have ran out, but you can tell there are still some people in there, and they're kind of quietly muttering behind their cover.
Yeah. What sort of action is it to poison a weapon, Esper?
Action. One action.
Full action? All right, thank you. Just checking.
I think it's a bonus action if you take the poisoner feat from Tasha's Cauldron.
It might be. I know that it has its own poison that provides. That's special. Maybe I'll pick that up in time. But lots to do. All right.
You hear the sound of the orc, the
chief
leader, warrior-y one.
Yeah.
The brutish one. Him like slowly scraping the blade of his sword and the trident together.
All right.
You boss. Who you boss?
I'll tell him whose boss I'm, in a moment.
All right, maybe you'll show him.
Yeah, maybe I will. When you're
He attempts his perception check.
Mm-hmm.
9.
Okay.
He is not close by you.
I'm kind of wondering. Well, at least they're talking to each other, so they know who's who in their midst, which is their weakness. They have to tell. I don't have to tell my allies where I'm at.
Yeah. So you've got the two, we'll say the cloaked ones on either side of you. One is very close. The other one's within 5 feet, let's say.
Yeah.
And then there's the brutish one who is not close by you. He's sort of on the opposite end of the mist cloud.
Got it. Well, I'm when it's my turn, I'm ready.
Go for it.
All right. I would like to. So I'm hidden for the moment. I know where their leader is. I'd like to go for the leader with a cat's claw, basically, action as my bonus action to try and sleight of hand versus perception check.
Okay, so I'll describe this, and there's going to be some things to take into consideration due to the heavy concealment.
Yes.
So your stealth is quite high at the moment. You sort of quietly whisk yourself over the table and just kind of slip out from between the two.
I've got my dagger in hand, ready to come at him. I'm coming at him from behind is kind of what I'm seeing in my head.
You creep up to where you hear the brutish chainmail laden warrior orc. So you're aware that he's real close, and you can get bits and ghostly indications of where
I could still miss, but I'm just using my instincts to try and aim my strike.
So if you want to do a sleight of hand, the same as if you want to attack him, it will be at disadvantage.
So
really can't see him.
So here's the thing, Esper. I'm hidden from him, so that's an advantage, right? But I can't see him, so that's a disadvantage.
Okay, so I guess your attack would just be an even straight roll.
But Cat's Claw, we make opposed checks, dexterity versus his perception.
Yeah.
If I succeed, then I get advantage again on my next melee attack roll. So to me, that would take it to a regular advantage. Does that make sense?
Let me
read your Cat's Claw.
Yeah. Even though I write these things, I've written so many of them.
There's so much you can't.
Many details to memorize. Okay. Bonus action, you make your sleight of hand contested by his perception. If you succeed, you get one or both of the following options. Advantage on your next melee attack and a kind of semi-sneak attack effect. Steal an object from him. Okay, gotcha. So why don't we start off with that then? Just make your sleight of hand as is, just a straight sleight of hand roll, and he'll do a straight
perception. I got a 22 on my. Oh no, I apologize. I got a 24 on my sleight of hand.
All right, he comes up with a 7.
So I've successfully positioned myself to grab the trident at the same time as I drive the dagger in, hoping that he'll let go of the trident and shock.
Cool. And so there's your bonus action. You sneak up on him. You slip the trident out of his hand. The Wonder says he can't be actively using it. He hasn't made any attacks with it. So what? I was
gonna try to argue my case on that because it's like he's just holding it. He's not actively using it. Is kind of
it's one of those on the line thing. So I'll give it to you.
I appreciate it.
So you just yank it right out of his grasp.
Well, no, I have to make the check. I have to make the check still. I think.
Isn't that what you just did? The sleight of hand?
The sleight of hand is just to see whether I get the benefits.
Nope. You steal an object.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was automatic. I thought there was a sleight of hand check involved with that one. Okay.
So the sleight of hand that you just did, that was stealing the object.
But then I also
giving you the advantage sneak attack thing now.
Understood.
So you yank it out of his hand. Do you strike him with the dagger or the trident?
Dagger, they're both the exact same damage, just one is magical, one isn't. But I'm not proficient with the trident, so I'm better hitting him with the dagger.
Very well. That's a good call.
Yep. So driving the dagger home, which makes more sense to me anyways.
Yep. So you'll have just a straight roll here because you have disadvantage from the mist, but advantage from being hidden.
And advantage from, it gives me advantage from Cat's Claw.
So there's no stacking up of advantages and disadvantages. If you
Okay.
have them both, then they cancel each other out.
So, okay, I rolled with advantage. I'll just re-roll. I mean, I did hit him, but I'll re-roll, Does a 16 hit him?
Okay. 16 hits him exactly. Chainmail.
Okay. And
You find that one little spot in the chainmail that's weaker and just slide that dagger right in for it.
All right.
I imagine.
Let me get my D6 here. Grab that. All right. So that's going to be a total of 9 plus 4, 13 damage.
Okay. You jab him with your dagger skillfully, as only a trickster Paragon can. He has no ready to attack. He used his action on searching for you.
Yes.
But he knows you're there now.
He knows I'm here now.
All right. And he shouts something quick in Orcish to his allies.
Yep.
You
that's
still
fine.
have, I'd say you've probably spent like 15 feet or.
I will move away from him just to make it so he has to kind of track me down. I'm not actively hiding, but he'll move to me and maybe not be able to position
Stay
himself.
within the mist?
Staying within the mist, 100%.
Stay within the mist.
Yeah.
So I'll say that they basically know where you're at, but
Yeah.
they can't exactly see you. They'd have disadvantage on their attacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
The halflings fled.
Yep.
And you hear them continue to flee. You probably they are going
That's
to
fine.
earshot now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm almost ready to flee myself, but let's see how this goes.
All right. So is that the third? That's the end of the third round. At the end of the third round, the fume keeper of the tavern, one Gunther, says, "Whoa!" And when he says "whoa" like that, there's a rumble, like the ground actually slightly trembles.
Mm-hmm.
What is the meaning of this? I will have no bloodshed in my peaceable place of merrymaking.
Too late for that.
Do you say that?
I think it, but no, I don't say it because why would I give away my position more? Yeah.
Magus, call away your cloud. You hear this?
Tell these orcs to, exit the cloud first.
Orcs, are you in there? We are here. Wait, his Elvish is not that good.
Yeah.
We yes. The orcs try to explain something, but they have such a limited grasp of the Elvish tongue that it doesn't come out very intelligibly.
Dropping my mist.
Orc, says the fume keeper. No fight here. No. And you, whoever you are, magician, the same goes for you. This is not a blood pit, a bloody fighting pit here.
They shot me in the back.
I'm sure they'll have their side of the story as well. He commands you once again, and I will hear it, but you must call down the mist.
So the orcs technically go before I have a turn again. Are they leaving the mist, or are they just arguing with him like, blah, 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 we're not leaving, So did they leave? My question is, did the orcs leave the mist yet?
You hear one of the orcs step out of the mist in the direction of the fume keeper. You hear the sound of them drawing something, like opening up a pouch or whatnot. You hear the sound of like leather and parchment and this, something unfolding. And the fume keeper he's mumbling something, reading whatever just got past to him. What is your name, magician?
Hang on a second. I'm just considering what options I have here. So cat's clawed. I faded into mist. Sorry, I'm just had to double check everything. What matters at my name? It matters only that I fear for my life. If I drop this mist, these orcs might choose to take my life, as they almost surely did.
They are bounty hunters. How do I not know you are a wanted outlaw?
I am not a wanted outlaw, but if they were bounty hunters, they surely didn't say anything before they put the arrow in my back, nearly killing me.
One of the orc that's close to the fume keeper tries to explain something, but again, his Elvish is so terrible. And one of the tavern patrons tries to do a bit of translating. And they basically convey to the fume keeper that you actually came. They say like you went to stab.
That's their story. Yeah,
Sporek. Yeah, Sporek Nil. They say this one came to stab Sporek Nil in the back, and his companions shot you before you delivered your blow. That's what they explain.
Liars. They're lying. I did not come to attack their leader. I simply saw him start to attack the halfling, and I said, the words that passed my lips were, "That is a bad idea." And as I was starting to go to approach him, an arrow hit me in the back and nearly took my life.
So should we be taking this before the magistrate?
That's a good question. Ask them.
The orcs seem very...
My mist is going to fade in 1 minute, so I'm pretty sure the mist is going to go down pretty shortly.
Yes, it is going to go down shortly. Okay, do you have a last thing you want to do before the mist is gone?
I'll step out of the mist as it fades to make it seem like I chose to, dismiss it rather than that it ran out.
All right. So you step out, and the two orcs point their hand crossbows, and they say, "Stop."
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Stop.
And I've got my dagger and my trident in hand, but I'm like ready watching them. Yeah.
We're calling him the leader, Sporek Nil. He says to the fume keeper, "We take this one. We take him." And you hear like a sound of some chains being produced. It seems like these bounty hunters are wanting to.
I sheath my dagger and switch my trident to my other hand, and I then like reach to like my chest, and I'm like, "So, is this how it is in Sandbeer? The bounty hunters can attack people in a smoke den and simply dictate the terms that they're going to take some innocent away? I think not."
The fume keeper again is looking at whatever writ is in his hand.
Yep.
Then by all means, tell me who you are. Reveal your identity, stranger.
I am a traveler from Barnacle. I go by the name Walykos. And if they wish to take me, then I will not go willingly.
The fume keeper to the fellow that was helping him translate, he asked him to communicate something with these orcs. And it kind of leads into a short argument between the orcs and the fume keeper of like, are you actually someone that they are tracking down? And the orcs are trying to make a case that, well, you might be an accomplice or whatever. And the fume keeper in the final end is like, Is his description on this writ?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And the orcs like snatch back the writ. Though I am curious, if you are not accomplice of these wanted halflings, why is it that you would be coming to their aid, threatening the...
I was not coming. I was coming over there to see what was happening, and I saw an orc attack a halfling. I didn't know he was a criminal or not, depending on which you would, claim he was. But all I can say,
you believe this halfling was
all I knew was that he was purported to be a captain
and
of
a poor assaulted, aggressed victim, and you were there to be his hero.
All I can say is that I saw an orc attacking someone in a tavern with no provocation.
Yeah. Is Snake Tongue he? The orcs call you Snake Tongue.
Let's see if you can shoot me in the face rather than the back this time. I'd glare towards one of the ones that has the crossbow.
Gunther,
yeah,
innkeeper. He's heard enough. Yeah. All of you, the lot of you, all four of you, get out of my fume hovel. If you want to murder each other in the streets, so be it. I'm not going to have your blood on my floor, nor on my hands.
Fair enough.
And he's basically ejecting all four of you.
I'll step outside. I'll go outside. I'm not turning my back on them, but I'm waiting. Like, it's kind of like a showdown in the street is kind of what I imagine is kind of going to happen.
Aygir, Vapor, and Adriel, you've caught wind that there is commotion at Tiptoe, the fume hovel. That's where Wallykost.
Do we know that that's where Wallykost
ran out, and just like in this immediate locality, people are already talking that there's
shit's going down.
Something's going down there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And we know that Wallykost was at that place.
I mean, it's kind of hard. My description kind of stands out a little bit.
Right.
How many other
as soon as we realize it's Wallykost, we are going to be going.
Shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If this were Adriel, I'd have expected this, but not with Wallykost. Something must be really wrong. We need to go there now. Aygir says as he starts running, hastily reapplying the spalder he had removed from his armor so that it's now
rolling up the scroll of the letter,
stuffing it into a pouch. A very small crowd is gathered in the street outside of Tiptoe, and you're standing next to these three halflings in quilted armor, and they look like they have a little bit of skill of their own, a little bit, and they're just chattering away with great excitement and nervousness in their halfling tongue. And you see Walykos wafting with the smokes out of the front of this
it's like a movie smoke, effect.
And the whole place is in this redstone architecture, mind you. It's all got this like smooth, what's the word for it? Like clay plastery, seamless look to it in this ruddy color. It's pretty dark outside.
Like a lime wash, but based on something red instead of something white.
Something like that.
Yeah.
There's there's the big moon is like a half in the sky, and the light is sketchy, right? It's
we
kind of shadowy everywhere.
And we see Wallykost like bleeding and stuff, right?
Wallykost has blood on him. There's this one lantern posted up like up front, out front of Tiptoe. So there is this one area of a small radius of light, but outside of that, it's pretty shadowy. You see Wallykost come out, and then these orcs just storm out. There's this front one in chainmail, just strutting it, and he's got this orc sword in hand.
I have an action as soon as. Well, I know you guys have stuff, but I feel like I want to do something as soon as I get outside, and face off against these orcs. I blow into my pipe. I'm like, seems only fitting since you have some backup that I summon some up of my own. I do blow into my pipe, and like a little, discreetly, the little gem falls off to the ground behind me, and like figures rise up out of it. So I just rolled for it, and I know what it is. If you want, Esper, I can.
What do the figures look like?
Let me send you. I'm going to let you describe them because I kind of I enjoy. you playing with this a little bit. Let's see. Basically, they're going to be, I guess, elves. Like, they can be any race that's like a humanoid, but you can kind of describe them. Where's Esper? There's Esper the Bard. Right. And it's kind of fitting that it's two individuals as well, because there's three of them and now there's three of me, kind of.
Okay, so we've got this, hastily mounting standoff, and Walykos plays on his,
I summon them.
on his
Yeah.
pan flute, and the three allies, you guys are seeing this too, and coming up, out emerging from the shadows are two elves. One is wearing, the high magus archmage robes and this staff with this scintillating
Think like a Merlin, elven Merlin kind of.
and nearby him is a second magus, an elven woman with this big, large, floppy, stylized, pointed hat, and she's got a wand of her own. And so these two elven mages, one of which looks quite prestigious, appear. The orcs are having a stare down.
You can of course make their intelligence. It is, let's see, a DC 15 intelligence investigation check if they want to figure out whether or not that's actually people's. I'm hoping that they're not the most intelligent. Although there are rogues among them.
A 20, an 18, and a 2.
Jeez. Who was the 2, just out of curiosity?
One of the cloaked ones.
Well, it was worth a shot.
The lead orc scoffs, and as he does, maybe the face of one kind of for a second, kind of as though smoke, being blown
just to him. Yeah.
Wait. So do the rest of us are we walking up behind Walykos or behind the orcs?
Side on, you see Walykos and the orcs having this stare down in the street. One of the halflings, a brown-haired fellow with quilted armor. He says, "Do you know him?"
Oh yeah, I wanted to do something. Once I see that, I'd probably ignore this halfling. Actually, if this happens at the same time, can I sneak up behind the orcs?
You can certainly attempt to. So Adriel's going around. You're looping around to sneak up on them. So while that's happening, maybe it's Aygir or Vapor.
Do we need to be rolling initiative yet, or not yet?
It depends what happens.
It depends what I do.
I'm gonna tell the halfling.
You can roll initiative, and we'll all roll initiative.
I'm gonna tell the halfling. Yes, we know him. Now you're going to help. You're going to get out of the way.
This is Sporek Nil. I don't know if you're aware of him, but he's a rather accomplished bounty hunter.
I'll make him a dead bounty hunter.
Ally to just let it go. If he can escape,
I don't give a kite's tail tries turd who he is. If he's attacking my friend, he's going to die.
Agreed. And Vapor's going to pull out, start pulling whatever he needs for combat out.
I really hope this works out. This is going to be really cool.
I hope you have the metal to match your cockiness.
Aygir's sword and spiked shield thunder weapons fly to his hands from his armor because they're magically bonded to do so.
I'm ready to level up or die trying.
Yep. And potentially Adriel with his stealth gets behind when this all happens.
I kind of motion to my wizards, and they kind of fan out kind of behind me, kind of like gunfighters, they're kind of backing up with their magic. I know that I don't know that all the orcs made their saves. You know what I'm saying? I know that the leader said that he's kind of laughed.
You can tell the leader didn't buy it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I can still bluff the other two. Okay. So
what is Vapor doing?
Vapor. He's just going to be ready to cast a spell if the orcs attack.
Okay, so you're like behind Aygir or something.
Got like crackling lightning over your fingers.
Yeah, his fingers are charged with the storm bolt.
Yeah.
Okay, we got Sporek Nil, this like tough orc in the chainmail, and this wicked shaped orc blade. He's like 15 feet away from Wallykost. And then to his sides behind him are the two cloaked orcs they have loaded hand crossbows, but they haven't actually pointed them yet. They're
just kind of
a moment where all hell could break loose at any time.
Yep.
Adriel is sneaking around, unbeknownst, or hopefully unbeknownst to their back.
Hopefully, that's.
There's a crowd that is behind cover and looking and watching tensely. The halflings kind of you heard what they said, and they gave their Maxwell gave his bit. Aygir, I'm curious what you are doing as you see.
I thought he pulled out his weapons.
Gung ho there.
Well, so I mean, I saw him being essentially mortally threatened with the prospect of being killed, and he's already bleeding. So yeah, I've gone into. I mentioned my thunder weapons. That's guardian mode of my arcane armor. I'm gonna try and not do the stealthy approach, but hopefully maybe increase Adriel's chances of it by kind of sidling up next to Walykos if possible.
Okay, and so as you do that, I would notice that you guys are here, and I'd say, "Walk away now, bounty hunters, and live to fight another day. Otherwise, I'll drop you right where you stand."
I imagine Aygir is coming in.
I'm willing to back it up with an intimidate or whatever you think is appropriate.
I'll interject with a quick. He's not lying.
Also, just to see if I can also add into this information as well. Can I do my stealth roll to see if I get in on them?
I'll just say for now that they don't know you're there. If you try to come in and attack, I'll probably have you do it.
Well, yeah. So what I'm trying to do basically is get behind them with a dagger at their throats, essentially, and being like, "Do you really want to try this?"
That would be a stealth roll because that's too close.
Yeah.
If you're sticking with the crowd around the edge, they're not going to notice you.
No, I might try. Yeah, I might try to get in.
Go up in there and get a throat to the neck.
Yeah.
All right, give a stealth roll.
I'm good at this. Come on, D&D.
And you want to intimidate from me, Esper?
All right, it's actually.
I want to see what Adriel's thing is.
It's not amazing, but it is a. Let's see, so it's plus 8. It's a 15.
It's a 15. Okay.
So it's not amazing, but.
Sporek Nil has a 5.
Good. That's the one that I wanted to go to anyway.
Cloaked Orc number 1 has a 16.
Barely.
And the other has a 22.
Wow.
All right, so you go with your blade.
So I get up on the big guy though, right?
Well, you haven't made it that far yet, and just kind of we're taking this in super slow motion. So you're getting noticed as you're drawing close to them. And Walykos, make your intimidation.
That is a 19.
19. Okay. I'm just gonna roll for Sporek. He's the leader.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Give him a wisdom save. Got 13. Okay, so you beat him by 6.
Yeah. Real question is, can he back down? Will he back down, or will he what's his reaction to being intimidated? Yeah.
So he's glaring you and mugging you, and he doesn't really show signs of fear or flenching.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem quite so interested in fighting you here.
Yeah.
Adriel appears. They notice him. So someone's gonna have to make a quick snap decision here. I think I'm gonna put it into Adriel's hands because you're kind of the wild card now. So I want you to make a snap decision, Adriel. You can let these orcs start withdrawing as they're obviously going to withdraw now, or you can continue with pressing up on them with the blade, and it's probably going to erupt into a fight.
Yeah, I think Adriel would probably just have it because he was already doing it. I don't even know if he would have heard Wallykost while he was doing the sneaking and stuff. So yeah. Oh, I am aware of it. I'm aware of the.
You have this. You can actively just stop yourself, and you're just kind of part of the intimidation there, and the orcs are going to be grudgingly.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see. Yeah.
No, it ain't going down like this, and just keep on going. With the plate out.
Yeah, okay,
Here's
here's
reactively start.
Yeah,
attacking.
all right. Here's what Adriel will do then. So after Wallykost says that, he'll sort of like walk off to the side with his like short swords out, like both of them out, like kind of like staring them down. And then like as they're beginning to walk away, he's gonna like look to Wallykost and said, Who shot you, Wallykost?
These orcs, one of the hooded ones.
I'm gonna look over and I'm just gonna say, one of you is going to die, and then I'm going to attack one.
Okay. From an out of game standpoint, I can back you up on this.
Yep. Yeah, and like basically, like I'm gonna say one of you is going to die, blood for blood, and then I'm going to attack one of them.
I'm sure in character Aygir is like, God damn it.
Yeah.
out of character, like we're all
out of character. We all understand what Adriel's doing, and we can kind of agree with it. In character, Vapor's like, God damn it, fucking idiot.
Adriel's pretty protective when it comes to Wallykost.
He understands that, but it's like the situation's done with. There's nothing else to do here. Just let them go. They come back, beat the shit out of them then.
But let's play it out and see how it goes.
Right.
Because
but that's what's going through Vapor's mind. It's like, oh my God, damn it.
Sporek Nil, stares down Walykos, and he's looking at a potentially shifted table here.
Yeah, we got the numbers now.
His words, while they're not word for word literally understandable, it doesn't seem to be by the orcs. The intimidation is obvious. And the orc, the cloaked ones just give a quick nod of recognition, and they carefully, still mugging you, not taking their eyes, start to back up. Adriel's there at the side, and they start going off, right? They start walking away, not taking their eyes off of you.
Yeah. And
then Adriel goes to fire and must roll initiative.
Yep. Well, attack with my short sword, but yeah.
Okay, Adriel. Oh, attack with your short sword. So
yeah, I was
run after them.
Yeah, I'm like going.
Well, I assumed that he was behind them, so they were kind of like backing away.
Yeah,
and Adriel probably lunged forward at them.
Exactly. Yeah. That like right when I said like blood
Adriel,
for blood.
Aygir and Vapor, roll your initiatives.
Okay. All right, let's just get initiative again.
I'm looking at 13 for Aygir. 13.
Oh my God! I rolled a 1.
Unnatural 20. Unnatural 20.
I still got
14.
I mean, you still made the first move, kind of, as it were.
Yeah. That's why I'm curious about like if I still get an attack. If it's initiative based, though, I did get.
Yeah.
I mean, I would not have expected you to attack that after they probably were like, okay, the situation's over, and then you're like, it's over when I say it's over.
Aygir expected it a little bit.
Yeah.
He thought maybe it might not happen, but yeah.
Wallykost knew. Sorry, who are you asking
what did Vapor
for?
get?
Vapor.
14.
What is your dexterity score?
1.
I got a 5.
Okay. All right. So, and what was Adriel's total?
A 5. Yeah. So I have plus or I'm sorry, not a 5, a 6. I'm sorry, it was a 6. Yeah, because I had plus 6 to initiative, but I rolled a natural 1. So.
Okay.
Or a plus 5 to initiative. Sorry.
Re-roll Walykos's initiative there.
I'm sorry. Say again.
You said unnatural 20. Were you re-rolling Walykos's initiative there?
Yeah, I didn't realize that I wasn't supposed to roll initiative.
It's okay. I'll just put you up to 20. I'm just gonna keep the.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that you hadn't ever.
I was just gonna keep you in the others, but it doesn't.
I do have a question. I do have a question. Do I get an attack in since I did attack before initiative start, or is it like that's
you do not because your stealth check didn't succeed.
Okay, fair enough.
And actually, it's Walykos who acts first. So the orcs are not immediately close to you. You could move your speed and get up to melee if you were so inclined.
How many feet away? Are we talking 20 feet, 30 feet?
Yeah, Adriel didn't let them go too terribly far because he wanted to stay within lunging range. So it's like 20 or 30 feet away from
Okay.
you. Yeah.
In that case,
Shadowy illumination. There's buildings pretty close by everywhere you are.
Yeah.
There are some bystanders, but they're mostly behind cover.
Yeah. So
Not too much vegetation.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So the main thing here is I see Adriel going for the lunge. I see one of the orcs probably turning to shoot him with the crossbow because they're going to do their defense. So I'm going to react. I'm going to take my trident and I'm going to hurl it at one of the hooded ones from 20 feet away. I have to move up to 20 feet.
Okay.
And per your house rules, magical weapons come back
Yep.
after they're thrown. So I'm not worried about losing it.
Give it a throw.
Yeah. 12 is not going to do it. So, unless it does for some reason. I doubt it.
A 12 does hit.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, the
I'm not
cloaked
gonna
ones,
bother them.
they're only wearing cloaks. Like they just have clothing on. They're not wearing.
These are the minions. Gotcha. Yeah, I know. They've got
Probably more
room.
than minions. They're just not wearing armor.
Yeah, that's
They're
fair.
very into the.
Let's
They need
see.
to level up a bit first. Maybe take a level in monk.
That's fair. Or in Paragon. Let's see. So
Or in a rogue.
8 damage as the trident hits him head on, and just stabs him. I'm hoping that's the one that shot me.
All right, so you throw and you hit the one, and hopefully it's here.
Yeah.
Do you like even or odd?
I like even.
It is even. You have just tridented the one who shot you previously.
Revenge.
Revenge, sweet revenge is yours. And
then I make like a gesture, and I feel like the trident actually it doesn't just teleport. I feel like it kind of flies back to my hand.
Exactly. Yeah. The teleport flies right back into your hand.
Yeah.
You stabbed him, and that he looked like he winced in a lot of pain from that stab. So he doesn't seem to be as tough as Sporic Nil.
Well, that's good.
It is good. It is good.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Well, how it goes next is they fire on you.
Oh, so they're shooting at me, not Adriel. Yes, that's okay.
I'll take it because I'm kind of on my own out here. So.
I will use my hand of fate to dodge.
All right. You invoke an instant hand of fate, and they fire with disadvantage.
Double 20s.
What?
17.
17 will miss. 18 is my AC.
Oh, wow. All right. 2 crossbow bolts whiz by. And they clack against a backstop that doesn't involve a random bystander.
I mean, that's fair, but thematically, could I deflect them with my trident? Kind of let me be a little badass since I got one shot last time.
Very well.
All right. Yeah, I just moved the trident and blocked the bolts, as I, prepare to onslaught.
They grimace. They put their hand crossbows away, and they look like they're getting ready to go and draw some melee weapons.
Yep, makes sense.
We'll check that out on their next turn. Vapor, you are the backmost person. You've got probably 50 or 60 feet between you and the orcs.
Oh, he'll move forward to make sure he's well within 60 feet so he can start launching his spells.
And what sort of spell are you keen to launch?
Well, a Stormbolt. Though, out of curiosity, I did mention that he was readying a spell as soon as the orcs attacked. So
you can't really ready outside combat.
Action
though.
really has to happen inside of initiative.
Okay. All right. No worries.
You would thematically you had it ready, but now your initiative comes up. This is you shooting the readied action.
Okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was just trying to make sure there was nothing. Yeah, there was a reason why I wasn't able to. Okay.
You're reacting in as quickly as you can.
All right. Shoot. I think that's going to be a miss against the big guy. Unless...
You do have advantage. He's wearing chainmail.
Oh, sweet. I forgot about that.
You're casting Stormbolt.
Yeah, he's casting Stormbolt.
Yep. That'll.
Okay. Yeah, that's way freaking better because that's a 19 on the die. And I think that hits because a 16 hit on last when Walykos hit him.
Yeah. He's wearing chainmail. He's got AC 16.
Okay, and that's a D8. Yep, just a D8. And that's going to be for the full max damage of 8 points.
He weathers it with a grunt and a blower. It is Sporeknil's turn. I'm going to roll something for him. It's like it's a wisdom saving throw. And on the one hand, we have his bounty hunter, tactical, strategic mind. On the other hand, we have raw, brutal, orcish fury. He's an 18. So his, I guess we would say, more rational, tactical mind wins out in this case.
Oh, I hope he runs because I'm gonna chase him.
I mean, that may or may not be what he means by that.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Okay. He gives a tactical command to his allies, those two. They're close to Adriel, actually. Adriel, one is they're both grabbing for you. Make your choice of athletics to kind of outpower them, or acrobatics to slip through their grasp.
I will do acrobatics.
Makes sense.
No, I'm gonna use my -1 strength athletics.
Well, you know, I got to give you your options.
I got a 20, not natural.
All right. So the first one, you evade his grasp, and the second one, go ahead and roll again.
Oh, roll again. Okay.
Yep. There's two.
This one was a 17.
Is a 19. Okay. So one
It's
of
me.
them grabs hold of you. You're grappled. I think they were hoping to do a little bit more than just that, but we'll see what happens. You know, it could always progress from there. So you're grappled, and it is Aygir's turn.
All right. Well, so one question. How many of them from where I am could I fit in a 15-foot cube that originates from me?
Thunderwave.
Yes.
Just don't hit me, please.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, by math
If you walk
logic,
your speed, you can get them all.
yeah.
Okay.
At least two, but all seems
You
like
walk up there and you're like side by side with Adriel, and
All right. Then yes, I will bang my two thunder weapons together and with them as my arcane focus and just expel this wave of thunderous energy from whence they all need to make a Constitution save.
Okay.
Not the best save they could be making, but yeah.
I will start with the one who's currently grappling Adriel. It has a 13.
That I don't think does it. I think my DC is 15.
What's your?
Oh, sorry, my DC is 13. Never mind, that exactly
Okay.
does it.
All right, so he'll take half damage and not get blown back.
Yep.
And then the one who is not grappling and got trident stabbed fails with a 9. And then Sporek Mill, a little bit better of a con, comes up with a 10. So
All right.
getting blasted.
Two of them taking that full 2d8, which is going to be 8 and a 1, 7. And then one of them takes 3. And the ones that failed are also pushed 10 feet away from me. So I don't know exactly where I'm standing, but, you know.
The one that was grappling me fail or succeed?
Succeeded.
That was the one that succeeded, unfortunately. So
Gotcha.
that doesn't end the grapple there, but it would have been nice if it did.
So the one who's holding on to Adriel, he just, takes a little bit of rattling, but that's not really too bad at all. The other two get blasted with the full brunt of the thunder damage, and they get blown back some. Dust,
Also, there's
dust gets them off the ground.
Also, if
there's like a slight cheer, it's kind of a cheer plus a like a gasping awe.
We have like an audience.
I was gonna
Also-
say, if we didn't have an audience, that noise is gonna draw one.
Right. Also, as a bonus action after that, I will give myself my defensive field of 3, which is my Artificer level, in temporary hit points.
Okay. On an adjacent building, like up on the 3rd floor, a guy opens up his shutters. An elvish man opens up his shutters. Hey, we're trying to sleep up here. Would you cut that shit out?
He could have been up to 300 feet away.
And then he goes back to grumbling, with his wife. Some bastards fighting in the streets. Okay, now we've got these halflings, and they mutter to themselves. Does anyone else, the other 3 of you, speak the halfling tongue?
Nope. Elven, Goblin, and Sylvan.
Okay, so you can't quite make out what they're saying, but they seem to be gladdened by this sudden shift of fortune, and I think they're going to
Plot twist. I was their serendipitous encounter.
they are going to they're going to do some things to help out here. So I already had their initiatives. First is Troublefield. He's the scout of their party. I think he's going to sneak into a position to take a little sniper shot. So I'll give him a stealth check there. Okay, cool. So he spent his turn repositioning and hiding, and he got very well hidden. Who knows where he went? Then we have Lyda Dre. She is actually going to be doing something to help out Walykos, who was injured. And she says, "You're a brave one. I like that. Soothe." And you have just been healed for 5 hit points of recovery.
Woohoo! I'll take it.
Yes. And she can still do something, can she not? Okay. Nah, that's what she does. Okay. She's not too much of a fighter type. And Maxwell Fruck himself. He's not jumping into the thick of things. No. He's being cautious still. But he comes up close to you, Walykos, and he draws out a saber. Like lithe, gently curving blade, finesseful thing. And he looks at you, Walykos, and he says, "I can't believe it. You weren't kidding. Who are you?" You in the plural.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll have time to talk after this. As a matter of fact, I would very greatly wish to speak with you, Maxwell Fruck, Captain Maxwell Fruck.
It's a pleasure to meet you in that case. Well, let's just not die here on the street, and we can have that conversation.
Yes, let's send these orcs either to, an early grave or perhaps just a pile of unconscious bodies in an alley.
You've got grit, I'll give you that.
Yeah. Well, you saw me take that shot to the back and stand up.
It was a miracle, but don't let go to your head. Sometimes you just have good luck.
Well, I'd rather be lucky than good, than skilled.
Adriel, you're being grappled by an orc. So he's up close to you now. He's a cloaked one, has a bit of a cloth mask covering the lower portion of his face. You can feel he's got an athletic body, but not as muscular as Spork Nil. He has 2 short blades at his hips, and he's wrestling with you.
All right, I have a question. So, is it my turn?
It is.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. So, how does Misty Step interact with grapple? I would be free, right?
You just teleport out.
Any teleportation effect removes.
Okay.
that.
So, can I teleport because I actually have Misty Step as a bonus action because I'm Mark of the Passage variant human. So I would like to Misty Step as my bonus action to get out of the grapple, and I want to do it where I'm standing in front of him. So, but in a position where I'm not in range of the other 2 orcs, if that makes sense.
You're standing in front of whom?
Of the one that's grappling me, so he'd be on the ground. So I kind of want to teleport out in front of him, if that makes sense.
So he's grappling you currently.
Yeah, but
you're just teleporting like to the other side of him.
Well, I specifically want to teleport in a position where I'm still within 5 feet of him, but
Yep.
no
So
other orcs are within 5 feet of me.
The other 2 orcs were blown away.
Oh, they were blown away. Oh, okay. So this works perfectly then. Okay, yeah. So I'll just.
But even if they weren't, what I would imagine is you just teleport onto the other side of him. So you've got the other orcs on the far side.
Also, I have a question. Does Misty Step count as movement?
In what? Like, what's the context for that?
Steady aim. As a bonus. Oh, I can't even do it anyway. I need a bonus action. Never mind. Irrelevant. So yeah, I'll miss. Yeah.
Steadying.
Yeah, it's irrelevant though because I have to use a bonus action for it anyway. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I'll Misty Step out of. So he's like grappling me, and I'm just gonna like look at him, kind of like really, and then just teleport out right in front of him. And then I'm gonna go for an attack with one of my short swords, and I should have sneak attack on this because there's no other creature within 5 feet of him, right? So my Rakish Audacity. If I hit, of course.
Excellent.
Right.
A mystical maneuver by benefit of your noble birth. What have you learned there in the district of Storm Tower?
Wouldn't you like to know? But yeah, I will attack, and that is an 18.
Yep, you got him.
Yes, victory is mine. All right, and that's sneak attack as well. So that's 2d6 plus a d6 for the short sword plus 4, so 3d6. All right, that is 17 damage. So I don't know. I don't think he probably doesn't die, right?
But it's
okay.
Stab.
Yeah, so I'll just teleport out and then just immediately kind of like stab him in the side and then look him down. Like, and I have like rage in my eyes, like blood for blood.
He falls forward a little bit as he's putting his muscle into grappling you, and then you're just not there, and then you take that opportunity and shank him.
Exactly.
So, and the orcs they're saying something to each other now, and they look quite concerned as because of what's transpiring, and you all are bringing on this like magic force, and it's bewildering them.
Yeah, but when I stab him, it's just like blood for blood, and then I'll move away from him since I can do that as a swashbuckler after I attack him. So I'll move back a bit. I'll move about. Let's see. So the other orc's about 10 feet away from me.
Are you getting close to the rest of your party? Like,
oh yeah. I'm going. Yeah, no, I'm not chasing. Yeah, going back to my rest of the party. I'll move about 35 feet away from the other 2 orcs.
Okay.
So I think that would put me about 15 feet away or 20 feet away from him, roughly.
Oh, at least 20 feet. You could go farther if you wanted.
I just want to stay in a position where the other orcs couldn't get to me with 30 feet of movement. Yeah.
We're back to Walykos.
Round 2, fight. All right. Walykos is going to advance slowly to within 20 feet of the same one that I tried and did last time. That I don't know whether it's the one that shot me in the back or not, but karma, it is.
No, it was.
Yeah, it's like wink, wink. And I throw my trident.
2 cloaked orcs that are currently empty-handed, and then just right behind them is Spork Nil, and you go up to the one that you trident.
I mean, I walk a couple steps forward to within 20 feet, and I'm throwing the trident.
Very well. Okay.
So that's going to be a 22 to hit. So I assume that's good.
Oh, yeah.
And go ahead and take 10 piercing damage, magic piercing. Yeah.
Say again, 10?
Yeah, 10 magic piercing.
Magic piercing. Okay. And actually, this one and Spork had been knocked back.
So this one's taken my first attack, the Thunder Wave, and my second attack.
The trident stabs him in his thigh, and he begins to bleed. And they seem very. They're checking to see if they have some means of escape. This is going badly for them. It's turning very badly.
And I do the gesture again, and it rips out of his leg, causing more bleeding. Yeah, and it flies back to my hand. And I'll just make I gave you your options. You didn't take them.
Actually, they did.
I know. Not soon enough.
Yeah, you didn't take them soon. You should have taken them before Adriel showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much to Fuchila 2.0 for the super chat. If you have a request of something you'd like these orcs to do, just leave it in a comment there.
Yeah, cool little thing.
Make the orcs fight us.
Oh gosh. Well, I think the orcs are gonna flee. That things have started going very, very badly for them.
I got bad news for that orc that I was fighting because I can catch up with him.
I can also catch up. I have a 45 move speed.
Yeah, I have 70 movement speed with my bonus action.
And I don't think the orcs can go faster than 30 feet, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe 35.
They might be able to dash with like 60, but I can still catch up to that because I made sure to keep space. I made sure to keep space so that if they did run, I'd be able to catch up with them specifically.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Fuchila requests make them have conflicting priorities. One of them wants to flee. The other one is like full of orcish rage, and this will be the hill that he's going to die on if it comes to that.
And
So
you know what?
they're
That
gonna
might
argue
actually.
this out. They're going to argue this out between each other.
Oh.
I'm going to do just like a real quick, DM special roll.
Right back, guys.
And in some sense, it kind of makes sense too, because one might be like, we can't run from them. We have to fight,
Okay.
The other's like, no, we can't fight them. They're killing us.
The yellow die will represent the intimidation check of the one that wants to run.
All right.
He rolled pretty good. All right, he's got a
Like, if you don't run, I'll kill you.
he's got a 19. All right, and the one who wants to stay with orcish fury pumping through his veins has an 8. And so the one orc is like pulling his comrade along. And they move and they dash, and then as a bonus action, cunningly dash again.
Oh, so they
these are rogues. That makes sense.
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So they basically action dash and bonus action dash. Yeah.
Yeah. So they get
They're
a
still
good
faster.
amount of distance into the shadowy darkness of the night, but maybe one of you will want to chase after.
I mean, I'd say we still have one round to, try to keep up with them at the very least. If they get two.
On that note, let's check out on Vapor, who is known to cast spells at long range.
Vapor, are you there?
I think Vapor just said that he had to go do something.
Should we assume that Vapor shoots a storm bolt?
I would presume, like, he can't
we
catch
just-
up
I
to
can roll
them.
it for him.
Will delaying him and then doing the next person in the initiative matter? I don't know who's up next.
You can dodge. Like, there's not a delay your turn thing.
No, I'm saying, can we just come back to him since
Why
he's
don't we
not?
why don't he readies his storm bolt, and then Vince can decide if he wants to release that whenever. So it is Sporek's turn. He's been wounded, not so badly as the two cloaked ones. He's obviously a tougher guy. He got knocked back a tick from the thunder wave. He sees his allies retreating. Oh goodness. Yeah. Dying is not a fun thing to do. He will join them.
He'll try.
He's not as fast as the cloaked ones, though.
I was about to say he can't bonus action dash.
Could I quickly say something to him, like, if he's running? Like, I kind of want to say to him while he's running, like, it's either your blood or one of your comrades. I don't care which one, but one of you will die.
All right, so I'm going to do an improvisational kind of terrain roll here. Okay, so none of you can see the orcs at the moment. They've turned, behind buildings at a turn in the road. You could chase after them if you're so inclined, but you don't see them. There's like big, houses and redstone buildings blocking your view.
I mean, the one only got 60 feet, so with 45 feet, I can almost match that with a single move for his two moves. So I'm not letting them get away to
Oh
come
yeah,
back.
I'm chasing them too.
The problem is we started this. We're gonna finish it. We're not just gonna let them be Esper's in the wings villains for 2 levels from now when we're sleeping in a tavern. They burn it
those
down
are the
around us.
best kind, especially as a GM to run. Those are best.
Well,
Recurring villains are awesome.
well, one
Those
of them
are the
can get
best.
away. Yeah.
They have those recurring
All right.
villains that just keep coming back.
Hey, Vapor, what were you gonna do with your action?
Okay, I do apologize for that. I needed to get...
Yeah, it was your turn, and we had to skip you. So
Okay, I
Go.
was just been firing another storm bolt at the big guy.
he would have shot the guy before he ran.
So Spork Nil is like turning to start his run, and Vapor release.
With
Yeah,
it-
let me grab
with
another
advantage.
d20 so I can just roll
Yep,
with the
with
advantage right here. Okay, that's going to be a hit.
Nice. And then the D8. Yeah,
That's 4. Does that drop him?
probably not.
Yeah,
okay,
this is the main
then
guy.
I'm going to quicken spell.
Ooh, quicken spell. What are you quickening?
Another storm bolt.
Okay.
Well, how far away is he? Because then I might quicken something else.
He's
I
like,
mean,
I'm about 50 feet away from you.
maybe.
Okay, let me check a spell real quickly because I
I mean,
might...
you could easily get within range of, you can move and then cast the spell.
Yeah, well, I
You
want to
should
see if
be
I
able
need
to
to move
do
closer
it.
to drop a shatter on him.
You could shatter him if you so.
Yeah, okay. So then... Okay, so this is one thing I wasn't quite clear on. Can I quicken and empower a spell?
No, you cannot double
Okay,
dip
never-
into meta magic unless it specifically says you can.
Okay, then I will just quicken a shatter,
Okay.
which I don't think I have advantage on then.
Just you roll the damage, and then I'm going to roll his con save.
Oh, okay. Shatter is...
Come on, Rolo, Esper.
He rolled
3d8.
quite high. He got a nat 18, nat 19.
All right. Well, half
that's
damage
most
is still
likely
half
gonna-
damage.
Yeah, that's most likely going to beat it. I'd have to double check, but I think that's going to beat it.
An 18 on the die? Yeah, that's going to beat it.
19 on the die. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, that does beat it, and so he's going to only take 5 points of damage. I did not roll that great.
All right.
I had 2 really rolled.
You bring
low
the
dice.
storm upon him. Thunder and lightning blast him. But he staves off the worst of it and then runs, around this, big.
Yeah, he runs around the corner.
Story redstone building around the corner.
Who's
We
up?
go to Aygir.
All right, so all of the orcs have fled to where they are not seen.
Within sight. Yeah.
Okay. And do I know that the rest of the party seems to be going after him?
you know that
I mean,
Adriel is. Adriel's been like pretty.
You're going to see me moving shortly, so it's not like within a couple seconds you won't know.
Sure. All right. I will run potentially up to my full 30-foot movement speed, depending on whether I see them when I round the corner or not.
Esper?
All right. So, remind me how close in you had positioned yourself.
I was pretty near Walykos. That was the whole...
Well, you
I
came
do
up and you
remember
thunder
that.
waved. You were within
Right.
like 15 feet of like
Right.
them.
Of all of
That's
them.
right. You
Yeah.
went up for the thunder wave. Okay.
Yeah.
You could spin your speed to get up to the corner and look around the corner.
That would take my entire speed?
Yeah.
Oh,
So one move action.
right. All right. I do that, and do I see them?
Yeah. So you go up and you look around the corner, and here's what you see. You see Sporek Nil, some 10, 15 feet in front of you, in the midst of running, his chainmail clinging. There are a few people in the street that had, maybe they were coming to see what all the commotion was, but they didn't get too far before they saw orcs charging down, and they got behind whatever cover they could. The 2 cloaked ones, you don't immediately see. However, there's buildings, so they obviously went behind one of those ways, and they're fast.
All right. So the one I see is Sporek Nil.
Indeed, it is.
All right. Well, I can't get up to melee range to hit him twice, so I'm going to point my sword, my arcane focus out, do that cantrip, a favorite of mine that Vapor taught me, and fire off a storm bolt of my own with advantage against the metal can of a target.
You
And
taught Vapor it.
sadly, no crits on that, but that is a 16 and a 17. on the dice, so that will definitely hit. 4, 5. Could have been better, but
You zap him. Ugh. He is still running.
all right. That is, I think, my whole turn. I don't have a bonus action that I was planning to do yet, so yeah, that's my whole turn.
Adriel, you hear a voice from the shadows nearby. They seem to be running away. You've impressed quite a bit upon them. Say, are you going to let them flee? It would be a shame.
I'll turn to whoever's talking and just say, they hurt my friend, so I'm going to spill their blood. I don't really care whether they run or not.
Oh, please do.
Just nod.
They've been after us for some time, and that would be a great relief if you could do that. You have my encouragement.
It'd be great if you had her expeditious retreat.
I'm always glad to be of service. If it makes your day of me killing them, then better of it.
Or
I'll
haste
keep
action.
my eye on you as long as I can, and I'll send a warding shot out if someone gets too close to you.
Thank you for the assistance. And then I'm gonna,
Take
it's
off.
my turn, yeah. Just take off.
Not
Actually.
quite yet. We have
Yeah, I think it's Wallykost first, right? Or is it?
No, Walykos is top.
Ray and Maxwell himself. She has a dagger and she has some spells, but she's not really a charge into the fray sort of person.
Can she give me haste?
Haste would cinch the deal. Those robed guys wouldn't get away.
Yeah, if she gives me haste, then
If
they
I
will
was capable
never
of
get away
using
from me.
Magic, we would have defeated those orcs long before you showed up.
Well, hit them with whatever you got, and
Yeah, any
just
assistance
pass the
will be
turn.
any assistance will be useful.
Are you wounded?
No, I'm quite hard to hit actually. I think my friend over there is though.
Still wounded. Still at like half my health.
She looks at Wallykost and she looks at Adriel. Which one is the greater demand here? To render some small enhancement to Adriel, or to give a small healing to Wallykost?
So out of character, I really want to be given the buff, but in character, Adriel would want Wallykost to be helped. So Adriel would say, just help Wallykost. I can catch up with him myself.
Mm-hmm. I'm right behind you.
All right, so she, in lieu of giving the bardic inspiration to Adriel, will give the healing word to Wallykost.
I'm mad at myself.
7, Wallykost.
7, you said?
7.
That's almost back to full. I'll take it.
How are you feeling, Wallykost?
Sedated.
Yeah, Walykos is just like getting more and more energy, and he starts like his legs start like doing the springing motion like a goat, and he's like ready to like take off.
Yeah.
The wound on your back has pretty well closed up. The blood's dry.
Yeah, I almost like imagine the situation right now. It's like Wallykost and I are almost like already running after them, and he gets healed like at the same time, like while we're going. Yeah,
pretty much.
Wallykost, you do have an injury though. You have a level of exhaustion.
Yes, of course. Which
so,
I mean, it has not
skill checks, ability checks.
Yes, but I mean, it hasn't affected anything really up till now. It may have affected some of the stealth stuff that we would have forgotten about, but
technically, it should have given you a disadvantage on that initiative check.
Okay, I mean,
for future reference,
I will. You remind me of that. I will definitely remember it.
Maxwell.
So Maxwell is one of the halflings, right?
Yeah, he's one of the 3 halflings. He is, as you know, the captain of a ship of some sort.
Was he the one talking? Was he the one talking to me about like?
No, that was Troublefield hiding somewhere in the shadows. Troublefield the scout. So Maxwell, he has this saber, and he says, "They're on the run. You can go and shoot them down if you so desire. We are going to make our way to the ship. Maybe we can talk there. Do be discreet if you're going to come, okay? Soonest. That's the name of the ship. Soonest.
Got it. I was like, we're coming as quick as we can.
Now we are on to Adriel, who, with a move and the cunning action dash, can get around the corner. You could probably even get into melee with Sporek if you were so inclined.
Yeah, so am I able to get into melee with the one I was already attacking, or only the
All right, so how about I put it to you this way? You move your speed and you're close to the corner, and you go into your bonus action dash and take a couple strides, and you look around the corner. There's Sporek, like 10, 15 feet running. Aygir has just zapped him. And
so you could get to Sporek and attack him this turn.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, I'll just do that. I'll just
a street, kind of like, it's kind of a windy street, and then it splits in a couple directions. There's like a little alleyway, and there's buildings, and some of the buildings have like these protection walls.
I'll just go after Sporek. He seems like the easiest, quickest target.
Oh, you're giving up on the rogues?
Get into melee with him if you want.
Yeah, like it seems like the rogues, like
it's too tricky to try and track them.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit more like I can find them later. But for now he's here. So yeah, I'm just gonna come around the corner with like still pretty mad. And when I see Sporek, right? Sporek? Yeah, I'm gonna look at
Mill.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at Sporek and say, it's too bad that you're not as fast as your friends. And then I'm going to attack him. And I'll get sneak attack again. No one's within 5 feet.
He's not in a great position to make a nice snappy comeback. He's bewildered, wounded, fleeing.
He's probably wondering how this could possibly have happened. Earlier tonight, he was in a good position. He had caught his quarry. This punk just got shot in the back. He was trying to like threaten his life, and now he's running for his life.
Yep, and he's not as fast as us.
I bet you're wondering how I got here.
Yes, exactly. 24 hours earlier.
All right, so I got. That should hit. That is a very high number. That is a 23.
Yep, he's AC 16.
Nice, and that is going to be 3d6 plus 4. He's what?
He is chainmail AC.
Oh, okay. All right, 3d6 with my sneak attack, and that's 15 damage altogether.
Whoa.
Yeah, sneak attack, man. It's good.
Okay, so you hit him with your short sword.
Mm-hmm.
You stab him with the short sword, and you come off with blood on your blade, and he is looking ragged and bleeding.
Yeah, so when I pull it out, I'm just going to say, like, you're going to die. I hope that you enjoyed the shot that you did to my friend. You should have made it count.
Well, they almost did.
Infernac.
Go to hell or something like that.
Yeah.
Walykos, what are you going to do?
Well, first, I'm going to move my 45 movement. Does that get me to the corner or past it?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You could get into melee with Sporek as well.
I could.
A quick one.
Do I see the other rogues by chance?
Mm-mm.
No, they're already gone. All right.
They can't
I'd love to chase
too far, but
you don't. There's too many
blocking terrain, and
I mean, like, if I may, like Adriel probably, like, seeing Wallykost would have said, like, I can take care of this one if you want to go after the rogues.
I don't.
But it's up to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's wise to chase them alone. From hiding, they could snipe me and just drop me with another lucky crit, or whatever.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take down Sporek, and I'm charging right up to him. I'm gonna ram my trident into his ribs, like I intended earlier.
All right, give it a roll.
It's a miss, unfortunately. Even if I add a flanking bonus.
He is not going down call it peacefully, that's for sure.
I would be flanking with Adriel if I could, just for purposes of where we're positioned around him.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I envision that you flank with.
He's definitely only gonna get like 30 feet of movement because he's got to disengage. Like if he wants anything out of this, or he could surrender, but I'm still gonna kill him.
I don't think surrender's his option. I think he's got to fight or just try to. Now, even running, he can't run anymore.
Yeah, like at this point, like at this point, it's just like
He has to
no
drop
matter
us.
what. Yeah, like he's got to beat us, because it's like if he surrenders, we kill him. If he runs, we get attacked.
Or if his rogue buddies were hiding nearby and they pop up with their crossbows.
Yeah, they might help.
I mean, he's giving them sneak attack on us, technically. by
I'm
standing
sorry. If he surrenders, what there, Mr. Murder Hobo? If he surrenders, we ask him questions.
Yeah. It's just he'll surrender in Orcish and we won't understand him.
Exactly.
We'll be
He'll
like,
forget.
no.
Yeah, and then Aygir comes around and he's like, "What did you do?" It's like, I mean, he didn't surrender. He was yelling like profanities at me in Orcish.
Okay.
Yeah, we're horrible people. I just want to say
Vapor.
that for the end of it.
Adriel's definitely a horrible person for sure.
Yeah.
Vapor, you've seen Sporek Nil and also Aygir, Walykos, and Adriel go around this corner that's not too far ahead of you.
Okay.
Oh, you're on mute. Vapor.
Vapor's on.
Sorry, I was looking up something real quickly at the same time that you were talking. I don't know if my 30 feet will get me close enough.
I mean, you could move that and like be able to see around the corner. Sporek Nil is very wounded, but you don't know where those two rogues are at.
Well, he'll go after whoever he could see then.
So
And he's yeah. So I'll just do another storm bolt.
Okay, hold your Stormbolt. You creep around the corner and you see, oh, look, there is Sporek Nil. Make a perception check.
I don't think that's gonna be a good one.
I'm loving this combat battle. This is fun. I like this.
11.
11. Okay. So you go to shoot your Stormbolt. Before you have finished your incantation, there is a shot at you from hiding.
You were right, Wallykost.
Does a 16 hit you?
No, because I think I can cast a shield as a reaction.
All right. Popping up over we'll call it a security wall from, I think it's 30 feet. Yeah, 30 feet away from you is one of the masked orcs. He takes his shot. You deflect it.
I'm so happy.
You deflect it with your shield spell. And do you want to continue your Stormbolt at Sporek Nil?
Take out the orc. Take out the
Yeah.
orc.
He'll take out the orc.
Which orc?
Spork Mill.
Okay.
Drop it.
Shoot bounty hunter, indeed. Roll with advantage for his chainmail.
Okay, that's going to hit. I just rolled a 19 on the die. Unfortunately, I'm only throwing out 1 point of damage.
Hey, maybe that kills them. Who knows?
He might have
Well,
done
I
his.
fear it's more like he's focusing more on keeping that magical shield up than channeling the power
Sure.
into. Speaking of which, I do
You're
need to
almost
roll.
shot with a sneak attack, and you shield the last moment and still get off your lightning spell, but it's just a little.
I still need to roll for wild magic.
Real talk, by the way, like it's good that you didn't get hit by that attack because that would have been a lot of damage.
That is no wild magic. I rolled a 4.
Okay, well, sooner or later it will happen again.
Yes.
Sporek Nil has his turn now.
Hopefully, in a life or death situation, that helps.
And he is going to try to go down cleaving some mofo.
Who is he attacking, me or
Oh my
Wallykost?
gosh. Hold on. I have to do a recharge roll first to see if he recharges his tactical command. He does. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the one who is nearby is going to take a shot as its reaction. Oh, fuck.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, who's he attacking? The weakened Wallykost or Adriel, who's done like 20-some plus damage in like 2 turns?
Weekend is subjective. I'm almost at full hit points again.
That's true.
I must remain a impartial game master of the world and recognize that orc used his reaction on his ready to attack that he just shot Wait a minute.
Oh.
That was a ready thing against Vapor, right?
That isn't a reaction, yeah.
Yeah. So
Good
I mean, he
call.
could still, but if it's his turn, though, he could do an action.
What about the other orc that's hiding?
The yellow dye orc ran.
Oh, he ran.
Oh
He
yeah,
just-
that's right. They were conflicted or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, damn. Well, that was going to be like a potential sneak attack, but he used his reaction already. Well, he tried to sneak attack Vapor, and he just didn't hit because of the shield.
Yeah, I mean, now you have this ability for
That's
next
right, it is.
turn. Yeah.
Sporek is going to attack with his sword
Come on, hit me.
against Wallykost.
Yeah, like I imagine Wallykost and Adriel are like surrounding him.
A wild, over 6 foot tall, well muscled, highly trained killing machine is attacking you.
Very bloody. killing
Wallykost, here we go.
Yep, I set my stance.
18 to hit.
Will just hit. However, I am going to use my uncanny deflection. So please roll the damage, and then I will
Okay.
reflect it back at him.
Oh, he rolled so pathetically low. That could have been so high. It could have been so much glorious damage, but he comes up with a 7 slashing damage.
Oh, let's see. I might be able to reflect all of it.
Mhm.
I believe I do. Let me just double check how much I add to this. Plus your dexterity. Yes, I reflect 9 points back at him of the 7 points. So thematically, I feel like he swings his axe, and I step in, and I feel like I actually just, it's like a keto where I just hit him as he moves towards me, and it rocks him back, and it just disrupts his entire attack. So
And the blade cuts into him deeply, and he's already quite worn down.
Yeah.
And he falls, kind of onto one knee and slumps over. And he's, making a miserable scene of dying there on the ground.
Don't. I'll respond. Say, don't worry, Orc. You'll be dead soon.
You
I mean,
finish
unless he rolls a nat 20.
Yeah.
that is true. It can always happen. Well, we have Aygir and Adriel and Walykos and Vapor before it comes to his turn. So if you're intending to finish him off, I imagine.
Well, who's up? I guess is. The
I think
real
it's
question.
Aygir next.
I'll just leave
It
it.
is.
Do you want to finish him off?
I don't know what Aygir is gonna do here because, like,
Well,
you
there's
said,
another enemy. Yeah.
The other enemy is on top of a
That's
building,
true.
right?
That's true. We shouldn't.
No,
like
He's
that.
he's not on top of a building. He's
Okay.
behind a little security wall,
All right.
which is like
Is he within one move of where Aygir is right now?
So it's actually it's a security wall, so I wouldn't call it little. He's probably standing on something on the other side of it.
Right.
So he's back there behind that wall.
Is that within one move of where Aygir is right now?
Well, it's not Aygir's turn yet, actually. It's,
It will
yeah,
be if
yeah,
it was
sorry,
just
sorry.
yeah. Okay. So is that within one move?
Yeah. It's essentially 30 feet away from you, but there's that wall.
Okay. Does that mean what exactly?
Well, think like how high would that be? Maybe 7 feet or something. And then apparently on the other side is an orc.
Okay, well, so I'd have to like vault over the wall or something.
You tell me.
What I'd like to ideally do is, move up to him and take an action and bonus action and attack with my thunder weapons. Is that possible, or do I need to do something else in order to get there first?
Well, how do you think you would get over the wall? What are you imagining?
Probably like a jump or a climb type deal. I mean, my
Just a pure
strength
athletic
isn't
maneuver?
great,
Okay.
but
Yeah, if you just want to do this pure athletically, it's going to be close. Give me.
it'd be
an
more like an acrobatic way of going about it. More of a sort of jump vault thing than a climb.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. Make
All
a-
right.
make an acrobatics check.
All right, I'm at least a little bit better than that. That's a 15.
Okay. So you do an acrobatic stunt. Maybe you use some object nearby and get yourself vaulted up on top of the wall, and you're like up there balancing. You've used all your speed, but you still have your action, and you see this orc, just crouched down. He's standing on top of a wooden box with his, reloading his hand crossbow. And there you are.
Well, assuming I don't need to take a bonus action just to land, I'll let myself sort of fall, and in doing so, use my action and a bonus action to attack with both of those integrated thunder weapons.
Okay.
Because it's one after the other. I don't have extra attack yet.
You fall upon your foe with thunder crackling upon your battle suit.
I'm guessing his armor class is lower than 16, right?
It is.
All right, I think these both hit. That's a 22 and a 14.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh.
For a total of... Wow. Okay. 12 damage. 3 plus 3 and 3 plus 3. So.
Describe this. How does this look as you defeat this orcish?
Oh, you get him.
I would imagine maybe I lead with my defensive side with my integrated into my armor spiked shield, like minorly impaling him, and then because beheading is actually really difficult to do. Probably don't, but just like carve a great slash through his neck that like makes him flop a little bit.
You Pez dispenser him.
Yes,
Yes,
that is the industry accepted term for that. Yes,
the chaotic evil player is just like, hey, look when I do this, the blood doesn't come out. When I do this, the blood.
A dwarf pops his head out from an upper shutters, and he sees the blood that is just gushing all over his, all over the front there, right? And he says, "Go, the yard!" Oh!
The yard.
Also, that orc now has disadvantage to attack anybody but me on his next turn due to my thunder weapons.
Life.
He's got a few more problems than disadvantage.
He gets like a nat 20 on his saving throw. He comes back. He's like, "Oh God, what have you done to me?"
How am I still alive?
So now I will leave it up to Adriel, and then Wallykost, and then Vapor.
Is Adriel up?
I think it's my turn, yeah.
If you want to finish off Sporek, I'll leave that in your hand.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay. Can I like do a role play thing?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So like, let me think about it. I didn't think I'd have a choice. I thought I was gonna have to roll, and there was a chance I might miss. So, okay, yeah. I'll like kind of like actually get down, and like, I mean, I'm sure that I saw like the arrow that was in Walykos. So I'll like get down to Sporok, and I'll like pull out an arrow from my quiver, and I'll just like grab his hair, like pull his head up a bit, take the arrow, and say, "Blood for blood," and then just like not quickly, slowly, like stick it through his neck.
All right. There's a horrific gurgling, choking effect that happens as Sporek Nil expires there in your hands, and it is a bloody mess, and you've got blood spattered all over you.
So who wants a drink or smoke?
And after doing that, I'll just sort of like stand up and like look to Walykos, say, "You doing all right now, Walykos?"
I will be fine, but I wouldn't suggest we linger here. Even if there are no guards, there may be others who come.
I agree.
Keep the peace.
Let's perhaps we should make haste towards the halflings.
The soonest, yes.
Yeah, I'll like call up like
a bystander, an onlooker agrees with you and says, "Yeah, you better get the hell out of here."
What, you want some of this?
No problems. No.
All right. Good. That's what I thought. And I start searching the body of the bounty hunter because he's gotta have some.
Yeah, I'm also gonna do the same.
Yeah. We split the difference. You take the bottom half, I'll take the top half of him so we get done quicker. We've done this before. We pat him down. We know all the nooks and crannies.
Yeah, as we start that though, like Adriel will call and say, "Aygir, we're done here. We need to get out of this location as quickly as possible."
Yeah.
He has that sword. It's in effect a long sword.
Anything special about it that makes it stand out from your normal sword?
It's of orcish craft and has some wicked shape to it. It's not just a straight blade.
Did he happen to have like
So it's
any
a
like?
uniquer.
Did he happen to have any like bounty? Like he had a bounty on him, right?
Yeah, he has that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has this belt with these
Grab all that. Yeah, grab all the
Yeah,
belt.
I'll grab all that stuff. Yeah.
There's like a chain, manacles, and
Should we roll a d100, see what else he has on him?
Yeah. Does he have magic items?
well, he didn't use them, so no. But
I mean, he might not have had a chance. We kind of effed him up pretty quick.
well, he does have that belt with the pouches on it. So
Yeah, so we'll search.
Yeah,
that.
we'll take
a
those.
look at
Yeah.
that later.
Okay.
He has a javelin and he has a dagger.
I'll take the dagger.
I'll take the sword. Like the sword seems like it could at least. It's got craftsmanship to it, from what you're telling me. It's not just a hammered out.
Well-made. It's a well-made orcish sword.
Is the dagger just like a normal dagger?
It's all orcish craft. Everything
Okay.
that you're wearing. So
Just
if
take it
that
all.
We'll just take
interests
everything.
you in some way.
Any gold that he happened to have?
You definitely hear some jingle in one of those pouches.
Pouches. All right.
Grab his chainmail shirt. That's some good gold there.
Yeah, we just strip him. Like, all right, your pants, your
Definitely
shirt.
take at least a good minute to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna take it. I'm
Okay,
just gonna take like all the things that I can like quickly get within like
Correct.
5 minutes, right?
Well, not even 5 minutes. I'm
Not
thinking
even 5
we're
minutes,
gonna
yeah,
take.
It sounds
We're
like
Like
take,
30
like,
seconds or 30
30
seconds. Yeah.
Suddenly, the wharf is disturbed by the sounds of two guys weekend at Bernie'sing an orc through them while trying to drag his mail coat off of him while trying to run to a ship while being chased by the police.
We're here for the bounty. On this guy. You know. It's like,
Yeah,
well, you
but-
seem trustworthy. You're one of our best bounty hunters.
But yeah, for like 30 seconds to a minute, like at most, just get all of his stuff off, and then we can figure out exactly how much he had later.
Yeah. We just take the stuff that we can easily take. Like, we're not going to strip him down to his skivvies or anything.
Yeah.
you decide it's probably not best to linger around for too.
Correct.
long.
We head towards the
It seems
wharf.
That the watchmen don't usually trouble themselves too much to wander into this seedy corner of Sandport, though the actual piers themselves properly will be under a fair amount of guard. The halflings apparently have a ship called Soonest, and Maxwell suggested that you meet there and to take care to be discreet or conceal yourselves in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Oh, before I forget, milestones. Everyone gets a milestone except Wallykost, who gets 2.
Thank you.
Also,
Wait, so
That will
okay.
actually level me.
I'll get 1 milestone.
Yep.
That's just enough, Esper, with 2 milestones. So,
I need 4 more for a level.
yeah. You finally...
Because you're gonna need it for Blackrock. All right.
Well, I mean, like, Esper, so often you give me, like, half less than a milestone to level. So that was the perfect...
well,
Not revenge,
I'm
it's
I'm just really happy that Adriel got to kill the guy. Like that's all I wanted in this combat.
and
while
while
I'm
surviving, how about that?
I know, right?
this time he puts you out ahead. Also, Aygir will catch up to the rest of the group wearing a stolen cloak from that orc because he doesn't want the police to know who he is
Can
and
I...
that he's associated with this, except for one torn off hem of the cloak, which he is using to wipe blood and viscera off.
Oh, yeah.
Buttons.
Oh, I don't know. Like Aygir, I don't like just for like in the future roleplay stuff. You probably would have seen like this orc has like an arrow in his neck, which is probably a bit strange when it was just like roleplay. Like I don't know later on because of like how Adriel and Aygir get along.
An elf came along and put an arrow in his neck. I don't know.
Aygir, were you interested in lifting the hand crossbow or 2 short swords?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much of a use for them other than to sell them, but yeah, they're valuable. I will take all of that.
Okay.
We can definitely use a little spending coin.
I love it. Aygir comes down with just like weapons. He's just like, I killed the guy.
In addition, Aygir, roll 4d10, and that's
Money.
money that you found on the rogue.
Well, we'll find some money on our guy too.
Yeah, we'll get some money. You know.
4d10. So we can carry that many.
Turns out our guy is just like, hey, Esper's just like, roll 1d4.
All right. That is 11, 20, 24. That's total. That's,
Yep. It's a mixture of coins. I mean, you can put 24 gold if you want, though there are some actual orcish coins in there. They're not House Drakestone minted gold coins. They're like Orkland coins. They are made of gold of some sort. So
Clearly there's going to be a blood feud after this. You know, the orc clans will be coming for us.
Is that how currency works? Is pretty much it's based on the value. So like just the gold in the coin is the value, or like hack silver is traded often enough, or
No, there's a very complicated system. Like
Yeah, Esper, can you give us the PDF with the currency system, please?
3 knots is equal to 1.
The geopolitical economics of Haven Island.
Yeah,
It's 1 Canuck or 2 Canucks, or you know?
are equal to 1
Well,
block.
there's one thing I can tell you, and it's this.
Yes.
Drakestone has like the gold standard minted official coinage of the land. However, there are other folk, such as orcs, that don't get involved with that. They're their own
From what
collection of different factions. If you try to spend orcish coins, maybe we should divide those out, whatever. If you go to spend orcish coins, there might be some merchants that are hesitant. And when you're doing these kind of like customs crossings things, there can be some taxes levied on that. There are some bureaucratic points.
is it kind of the like it seems that overall though it's like the value of the gold is the value of the gold.
It is the largest determining factor, but there are other factors.
Fair
all right.
enough.
So given that they are
A
still
gold
accepted,
coin versus a Drakestone gold coin are not 1-to-1 in the majority of major trade areas.
That's fair.
well, when I get some free time, I will then chop up the orcish ones to use as bits and just try and pass them off like they're any other bits of gold coins and hope nobody notices.
Yeah, with this small amount, it's really not much more than just a real role-playing world-building note. If you ever come into like a big sack of orc coins, then maybe we can get into the
It's like if we have like
implications of that.
it's like if we find like 5,000 orc coins, it's like okay,
if,
maybe that's only worth like 3,000 Drakestone.
Maxwell Ruck about this topic. He has some first-hand experience in this area.
I'll bet.
So this brings me to the next question of getting to the ship.
The
But
soonest.
who gets there the soonest?
We all do.
Well, that's kind of the question. Are you doing anything particular about the way that you are heading there?
We need to be discreet. So
Adriel would definitely go there stealthily, like make sure no one sees him go in.
I grab everyone and I think we should like get it off the street.
Yeah.
And once we're off the street, I tell you guys kind of what happened so that you know what happened last session. And that captain, the halfling, he's the captain that, well, we need to negotiate with him, but I think he's going to be inclined to listen to us after we just did him a solid favor.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it'd be best if you no offense, Aygir Vapor, take our lead, referencing Walykos and myself, like we need to be quite discreet here and not be seen as much or be seen as little as possible.
Just to be quick, I've got myself managed, and he puts up the hood on the stolen orcish cloak so that his face is largely hidden. And
When
also
you do that, I'll kind of like look you over and say, looking like a rogue does not make you one Aygir.
Well, nobody ever asked your opinion on it. Nor does being a rogue sound like anything I would value higher than a piece of oakum tongue. So maybe looking like someone with your mouth shut doesn't make you one either, huh?
Enough bickering. Let's do you have any disguises of magic vapor that you can apply to yourself?
I do not.
Well, you were the least seen, you and Aygir, so I think perhaps you two should go together. Me and Adriel will do our stealth, and we'll just go in pairs and meet up.
Whatever you wish. Let us have speed be our disguise. Let us be
Yeah,
quick and
actually-
sail with the tide before anyone is the wiser.
I'll also I'll look to Wallykost and say, Wallykost, just in case we do get caught, perhaps if you give me a few minutes, I can get us a bit of a disguise set up.
Is it worth a few minutes? Like, how close is the wharf? Like, if it's,
That's a good question. Yeah,
Pretty close. Yeah.
pretty
I don't
close.
think.
You
I-
can walk there in a few
I think we'll be better with our stealth skills. I think
Okay,
we can
fair enough.
rely on that.
Fair enough.
We just
So-
pull up our hoods. You know.
I've actually done a roll for my dungeon master environmental roll and rolled a 1, which means the least amount of challenge possible.
So we basically have to like roll like garbage.
Yeah, so no rolls are required, but I do want to describe what happens. You all discreetly slink along through the seedy portion of Sandport, and you get to one of the outlying piers where you see this halfling ship. It's not a big ship. That's a pretty small ship actually, and it looks piecemeal. Like there's not anything uniform about the what's the word I'm looking for here? The planks and the hull, and the whole thing has been scavenged. It looks like
Makeshift or even ramshackle.
Yeah. Even the sails are there's not even a uniformity to the canvas of the sails. It's like patchwork sails. And before you even get close to it, you can smell it. The thing has this tar smell, like cheap burning tar. It's it's kind of a hunk of junk. And you pass by a couple of men. 2 of them are in some armored uniforms, like kind of a light armor uniform, and you overhear their conversation. Apparently, the bounty hunters got shot down with lightning bolts and fireballs by a whole company of archmages, and that's why I don't poke my nose around that hovel corner. And it's quickly getting exaggerated, this whole thing that just happened, and the guards seem pretty uninclined to go mess around with orcs and renegade mages.
I mean,
shaking each other down in the dirty streets of the outskirts of Sandport.
There's nothing in it for them. Like, what do they get out of putting their necks out there? Yeah,
they make exactly 0 more coins by doing that. So as far as they're concerned, it's like criminals killing criminals is what it seems like to them.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, let them kill themselves. And you get to the edge of the pier, like this plankway that leads out to the pier where the ship is docked, and you see 2 figures. One is a halfling, as you would expect. He's a shorter guy, pudgy fellow, and the other is not a halfling. Is actually a really tall, almost 7 foot tall mass of hair and these like big ears sticking out. And it's the shaggiest, hairiest bugbear you've ever seen in your whole life.
Does he look like the guy, the I don't remember his name, but the person from the Addams Family with all the hair?
Cousin It.
Cousin It.
I was going to ask, does he look like my brother or D'Amico's?
Like this long, straight hair going down. This is just an extremely burly, shaggy, unkempt bugbear. I mean, like a tooth is hanging out, sticking out, and he's got these lopsided big ears, and he's just there. And the pudgy halfling says, "What took you so long? You think shore leave is going to last all week? Get on here." And you're like, smacks one of you like up the side, the back of your head.
So,
Max, I respect you.
I take it this is the guy.
Yes.
So?
Well, no, not him, but he's on the ship.
Oh.
So
Well,
this is just their way of getting us on the ship without people asking questions.
Adriel, yeah, as we're walking onto the ship, Adriel will like specifically like sort of like look at the bugbear, like not fully trusting since it's a monster. Like he doesn't really seem very trusting of the bugbear, but he doesn't do anything. He just kind of like looks at him a bit longer than maybe others would do, and then he walks onto the ship.
The bugbear has a skittish look in his eye. You can't see his eye too much because the hair hangs down so low.
He's a Yeti.
He has this skittish look. Something seems to be putting him on nervous edge, but it's actually not you all. He's looking at something, he's standing there like on the gangway, and he's looking at something in the port. I don't know, something.
Oh, okay. Well, if I noticed that,
bugging
okay,
him.
if Adriel noticed that, then he would actually ask the halfling, then like say like, is everything all right with him?
Oh, him, Shaggy. He hates the land. He always gets nervous around it.
As Aygir walks past, he'll whisper to him in Goblin, "What troubles you, friend?"
He tilts the pier as he's walking because he's so heavy. So every step he takes is like on the boards. And this is like the old kind of rundown pier. This is like the cheap one. And you say that to him, and he says, I no trust this place. Nope. No good come from here. No good at all.
But my sea is grass, and my ship is
sail. Back to the flotilla. Back to the wave.
My sea is grass, and my ship is a Xena, but I know what you mean.
He looks at you in a puzzled fashion, as though he didn't quite catch what you were saying there. And then he scampers along to be up close to the Pudgy one, whose name is I am Shanks, they call me. He draws back part of his cloak, and he has a number of different sharp metal implements of various kinds. Don't worry, I'm just the cook. And you all are led to the upper deck of Soonest, where there is Maxwell Fruck, and there is Lyda Dre, and there's Troublefield, and then a number of other halflings. It's like a big halfling crew, plus Shaggy. He's like the only non-halfling here. And he seems quite content. He sits down, and he pulls out something, and he's fidgeting with it in his hands. Well, that was very unexpected. I'm impressed. I gotta say, not a lot impresses me, but that was something.
Well, I'm glad that we were able to show you something impressive tonight. Perhaps we can come to an arrangement that would be beneficial to us both, because that was my original intention on approaching you.
What do you have in mind?
Well, you have a ship. We have a destination we wish to go to that not many ships would consider going to. Are you familiar with Esper? What's the name of the island again?
Black Rock Isle.
Black Rock.
Are you familiar with Black Rock Isle?
I've never been there. I know nobody that has.
Yes, it's not a place that many people would go to lightly, considering it was one of the strongholds of the giants in their late, empire or whatever, their, before they fell. But
giant curses and all that be damned. It's jagged obsidian to approach the island. It's hazardous.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what creatures might lurk in those waters as well.
Do you not think you
have some grand design with this Black Rock Isle?
We believe that there's giant treasures to be found there, and we wish to, based on certain information that has been given to us, we wish to go there and get to them before anyone else can.
I cannot say I'm surprised, says Lyda Dre, staring you dead on.
Mm-hmm.
With the magic that your company wields, you must have interests beyond the mundane. It is very rare that I see others capable of spell casting.
Oh, I'm not a spellcaster. I just know a few tricks.
Yes, no, I tend to speak with my blade.
I saw both of you produce misty effects.
Mhm.
You to jaunt yourself through space, and you to conceal yourself with an arcane fog. You can downplay it, but I know what's really at foot. At hand. Afoot and at hand.
Mhm.
Perhaps, but either way, do you all think that you can get us to Blackrock? Of course, we're willing to pay,
I could
and
get you there.
we
I
also
could get you
killed
there,
this
but it's
orc
going to
for you.
cost you.
Oh, I understand. There's nothing in life is free.
How much would you charge?
And
500.
Sorry, what?
500.
500.
Perhaps we can work
Yeah.
out something a bit smaller. We did kill the orc for you, did we not? I believe.
Hey, look, kid, you're not going to find anyone else who's willing to take you to Blackrock Isle.
Indeed. However, perhaps we don't have that much coin on us to pay you up front. Would you consider some sort of arrangement with?
When you say that, a lot of the crew is like trying not to laugh, but some of them like burst out like, and one of them even like makes some joke to Maxwell in the halfling tongue, and he like gives them a jab to shut up.
When
Yeah,
they
I
do
just
that,
wanna glare at them.
Aygir, yeah, I was
We've
about
had
to say,
some,
Aygir definitely glares
difficult
at them.
experiences, let's say, with things being fronted, and I owe you so, and
Do you not think that we are skilled enough or trustworthy enough? Did you not see what we did to the orcs? I believe you
take
can
up-
take us at our word.
hey, killing orcs in the street is one thing. Blackrock Isle, that's another thing altogether.
I reach up, I pull out from around my neck the pan flute with all the little beads on it. I set that down on the table in front of him. I say, "We don't have your coin, but this is very important. This is
That's the thing you blew into to summon up the
to sum up
vaporous.
the archmage and his apprentice.
Lyda chimes in.
Why don't you examine it?"
It was ineffective that time, but something tells me that it is not always ineffective. In fact, something tells me it can sometimes alter the course of what otherwise would have been disaster.
Indeed. I've used this to preserve my life many times. But I want to impress upon you how important it is that we get to Blackrock Isle.
Lyda looks it over. The object is imbued with magic, to be certain.
Mm-hmm.
It has great value. Maxwell, I would say that this is nearly the equivalent of the 500 that you have asked of them. I believe it is acceptable. Do you find it so? Well,
Yeah.
I might know someone that we could sell that to, if worse came to worse, right?
Mhm.
If you all died on the island and never came back, and this is all that I was left with.
Indeed.
It would help me, yes.
Was there more to that, or did he just kind of cut himself off with what he was saying?
I owe some money. A
Mhm.
lot, actually.
Is that why the bounty hunters were after you then?
They've been on my ass for a while.
Well, perhaps you consider this as a factor as well. If you successfully navigate Blackrock Isle, and you're the first and only to know how to do so, would it not make a safe haven that you could retreat to and lay low for a while when you need to?
Black Rock is utterly accursed. I
So
would
they
not
say.
recommend ever dwelling there. And if you plan to set foot, I must caution you, you may be bringing your own doom down upon your head. The ruins that are upon that island are not to be taken lightly.
Believe me, wouldn't be going there unless we had very good reason to be there.
I'm actually going to make a roll for her, a knowledge roll here.
Sure.
Okay, she actually did pretty good there. So she relays some information to you. I'm just paraphrasing it here.
Yeah.
About some of the tales of what dangers and things that lurk there, and the impression you get of what dangers, both in terms of lurking creatures and lurking traps and hazards, it seems over your heads. It seems like a deadly expedition. So I'll, as always, I leave that in your all hands, but kind of metagame terms, it's a dungeon that's
Not meant for our
substantially
level.
over your level.
Yeah.
Which is why the contact K, I forget now what that stood for, told us we should level up before going there.
Yeah.
And then we did a little bit, but not that much.
Well, the problem is
if you can stop the thralls of Baal and
from
just
getting
kind of
one
prevent
thing
them from going into it. And they might not survive it either, but they might. And there are ways around stuff. Like, even if let's just hypothetically speaking say you all chose, okay, we are going to go into this. We're just not going to directly fight
anything. Yeah.
We're going to use tricks and maneuverability and
just hiding skill checks.
And and whatever we can to just plunder some stuff and then gather whatever we can and then get out without.
Well, I'm all
the other
for
option is wait for them to come, let them go in,
and
then ambush them on the way out.
Nothing is ever completely set in stone. It's always fluxy, multi-layered thing.
So out of game, like, I'm actually cool with going still or not going. In game, Adriel still wants, like, Adriel's ready to go. Like, he thinks pretty highly of his skill, so he's pretty confident.
Well, I mean, you can be confident, but then you face a Hydra or a no.
So Adriel is confident because he hasn't lost yet, but like if he fights and loses, it's like, oh, maybe I'm not.
Maybe I'm not such hot shit. Yeah.
Aygir is starting to feel the temptation to explore ruins. And if Adriel dies too, it would certainly solve
it's a perk.
Oh yeah, that would just be a bonus. That'd just be the cherry on top of everything.
But either way, before the temptation gets too high to just salivate over ancient ruins, he's going to go see what Shaggy is fidgeting with. And something interesting and mechanical.
So Aygir will speak up and like kind of like, this is just like in general, both to like the halflings and the party, and say, it does seem quite dangerous. I do feel as though we could manage it, but perhaps you have some wares, or someone who has some wares that we could find something that could help us through these dark areas, this dungeon.
Well, they don't know what's on the island.
No, I know they don't know. I'm just saying, like if perhaps they have something like some kind of like item.
I can't hear you both. Sorry.
Lyda knows some about what's on the isle. I paraphrased it. She doesn't know a lot, but she has enough knowledge to impress upon you that going into that dungeon itself is substantially above your level.
We're not going to do that. We're going to, get the thing that we're looking for is the idea. And I mean, I'm hoping that's not at the bottom level of a 20th level dungeon,
I should also clarify that what age, like, out of like metagame, we kind of, like, Adriel's basically asking like if they know somewhere where we could buy some like magic items, essentially something that could be of assistance. But I don't know.
Do we even have the means to pay
before Blackrock Isle? There are a number of different wares that you can find there, wondrous ones even.
How far is the flotilla off? If we were to go straight to Blackrock,
it would set you back at least 2 days. Could you spare that?
So here's the thing. We were told by our contact that we're on a time limit here, so 2 days could make a huge difference.
Yes.
I think we should stay on course.
Okay. I guess now would be a good time of any to just quickly touch back upon what the hell actually is Blackrock Isle. It's been a number of sessions before this whole quest started, so to say. So this island used to have a giant citadel there named Satyr Vigil. During the siege by the elves, the giants of Satyr Vigil were wearing down, as they were in a number of settlements. and they decided to self-destruct. Essentially, they released this massive pyroclasmic cloud of boiling toxic gas that killed some of the elves. It repelled the elves, and it also killed the giants there that were probably just going to die anyways. So there's a lot of tales and legends that surround this place. It kind of the location itself got ruined in that explosion. There was this lingering toxic gas for some time, and hopefully that's dissipated by now. There's all these there's monster stories about mutant creatures that dwell there. The island itself is, like there's approaching it. There's not like a sandy beach that you can just shove up onto. It's jagged obsidian reef, really, is what it is. Legend has it there are still magical relics from the giants of Eaberg that are unaccounted for that are in there. There are a couple named ones that Corgain talked about. One is called the God Slayer. The other is called the Eye of Fire. So one or both of those, or perhaps others, could still be there down in that dungeon, sealed away either from rubble and layers of dungeon, or maybe sealed in actual vaults with magical seals. So Corgain didn't really put any sugarcoating on it, that he's like, it's extremely dangerous. We don't exactly know what's going to be down there, but I do know that agents of Belvander are going to be heading there soon. If you can intercept them, stop them, slay them, anything you can to avoid this potential catastrophe that could happen from them successfully going through the dungeon, dangerous as it is, deadly as it is.
So number one priority is stop the agents of Belvander.
Ring of spell storing, by the way, with Vapor has it. It has 3 absorb elements in it currently.
Oh wow, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, don't forget about that.
That's super important.
I also have the magic weapon oil. I also have the magic weapon oil. I know that's like a one-time thing, but it's relevant. Perhaps.
Yeah. I do have a quick question. Did we ever get told how the agents were arriving? I don't think we did, but I just want to double check.
No.
Okay, we should have asked that.
Yeah, I mean the likely thing is that they'll be coming there by boat or by some kind of flying mount, maybe a swimming mount. So I mean, you're hoping that it will be an obvious approach. You don't think that they're just teleporting there.
So, we're going to
roll now for Maxwell, actually, on this topic. We'll assume this is like talking about Blackrock Isle.
Yeah.
What's going on right now.
So, guys, our main thing is we need to stop the agents from, getting the object. So we should go to Blackrock Isle and wait for them and ambush them. Is kind of what it sounds like.
This is still out of character, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so out of character, this is what I'm thinking with the ambushing, but I don't think we want to ambush them when they arrive. I say we ambush them when they're coming out. The reason being is they've been fighting, they'll be more tired, and if they succeeded, they'll be bringing what they have with them out.
You're making a lot of assumptions. We don't know if is it like one entrance in, one entrance out? Is it one level? Is it like 20 levels? Is it when they get there, can they just teleport home with, teleportation effect? We don't know a lot of things.
Well, it depends on how they arrive.
I think the safest thing to do if we're going to play that method is try to follow them so that we can keep tabs on them without them knowing that we're actually there. Now, that's a tall order for some of the non-stealthy people, but if we need to fight them, then maybe if the stealth fails, then we just go at it.
I mean, Aygir has a sneaky option. I think Vapor sort of does too. I think all of us are capable of being sneaky-ish.
Okay.
Although, I'm a little wondering, what... So, this is directly related to the Night Stalker, right?
Night Stalker is one of the agents of Belvander who's in Barnacle.
Because Aygir has just heard of this Belvander guy and doesn't have a huge reason...
Drakestone.
Right. Aygir doesn't have a huge lot of reason to really care what happens with Bale Vonder or who he is. Just given that, the stuff in Barnacle is what was directly affecting him, especially as it pertains to Khan's Spindle. And now that we have the Balai sorted out, that was cool. And then
let me put it in perspective. Bale Vonder is pretty much behind the machinations of the whole the Night Stalker, and he's engineering the whole friction between the higher classes and the lower classes.
I see.
And he's got a big plan. He's got a big galaxy plan, going on. We just don't know what it is.
Game is defeat the elves and giants reclaim control of Haven Isle.
But in the short term, though, this is causing
that goblin kind or orcs would be all that favorable of. Now there could be some differences in opinion amongst all that, but in general, the what we call the savage folk, right? These are spawn that were created by giants through cruel and heinous rituals. So it's not like the giants are looked on fondly by goblin kind.
From what I can,
goblins be like, oh, if only the giants would be our diabolic masters that would sacrifice us in their rituals and try to mutate us into more things again. That would be swell.
From what I can tell, it seems like
better than ever for the goblin kind right now.
From what I can tell, it seems like what we should just do is just go to Blackrock Isle and then decide what to do once we're there.
Yeah,
right.
We have to.
Where the Citadel ruins even are on the island.
I mean,
not small.
For all we know, we could get there. Esper rolls a random die. They show up, and a dragon eats them. Like it could be as simple as a random encounter hits them, and they die.
Yeah, it could.
Right. It's really not the kind of thing that necessarily needs that much planning from us at this point. We need to get there first, and then we'll figure out what.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like just let's go. Let's do it.
So that's the plan. That's what we're gonna do. We've convinced this guy to take us where we need to go. I think honestly though, we're not going to run this dungeon. This isn't us going through like we did in the fire dungeon, the lava dungeon, to try and clear it out. We're not trying to do that here. We will come back at a later date. Maybe
exactly.
If we
a couple levels down the line, once we're mid-tier.
Yep, exactly.
So so that being said, I think we've all hashed that out. Let's do it in character, like what's going on, Esper.
Okay. Well, I'll be willing to take this as collateral. It's good enough. Lyda says it checks out, so I trust in her word.
Yes.
We can get you there. I can't bring the ship incredibly close to the island itself. There's an obsidian reef I've got a great ship. She doesn't look it, but she's great. I don't want her to be damaged though. I don't want to risk that. We've got a couple of rowboats. They'd be small for you, but I mean, well, one of them's bigger. Shaggy's used it a couple times. I guess I'd let you use those.
I'm sure we could make sure our Artificer here can make sure that they are in good repair if they encounter any problems.
All right. I like the sound of Artificer. You want to watch that reef though. It will slash you to ribbons.
That's going to be the tricky part, but I trust your skill with your own ship, and we'll do what part we can to not take stupid chances.
Yeah, not stupid's always a good idea. I have half a mind to explore that old citadel myself, but I guess one brush with death is enough for me for a while.
Well, in the future, I'm sure we'll be going back there. We're not going to explore the whole place in one visit. So if you're willing to make an open arrangement, perhaps there would be some profit in it for you down the line.
Yeah, that's key for me. I'm indebted, and honestly, my life is hanging in the balance at all times.
If you don't mind my asking, who do you owe your debt to?
loading.
Okay.
Bangar Skull. You know of him?
Do we know of him? That is a good question.
The name's never been mentioned in game until now.
But I mean, we have.
Clearly of us have a reason to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think any of you potentially could know who this is. If you're interested in rolling like a history check,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
all can do that. Otherwise, he's going to tell you a few things from his perspective.
I do not know who that is.
Aygir with a 13. Sorry, 14.
Adriel actually got a 14 as well, actually, yeah.
Okay. I'll just say this. Aygir, just you've heard the name because you're from the Western lands. He's an orc warlord. In his own way, he's pretty infamous. It's pretty well removed from Barnacle and the civilized area, as the elves like to call it. But yeah, you know, he's high-powered, high-profile orc warlord. Yeah. So yeah, Maxwell. Yeah, I owe him exactly 7,000 gold pieces. I'd loaned 5,000 of orcish coin with an agreement to repay 6,000 within 3 months. And I had what I thought was a pretty stellar plan. I was going to be purchasing a large shipment of Zagape, fine Zagape, that was coming in from Terra Morgana, turn a nice profit from that, repay Bangar Skull, and keep a big chunk for myself. Myself and my crew, of course, and the flotilla. Things went pretty awry, though. It pretty well went to shit. I got to Havensport, and the Merocrats put a really hefty tax on the orcish gold that I brought in.
That's
Giant's gold, stained with the blood of elves and dwarves. So that cut it down to the tune of 3,400 and put me through a 2-day bureaucratic delay. Due to the delay, the Zagape deal was basically lost. I just had to purchase what I could at a higher price, lower quality stuff. And then on my way to Plethoris to do my selling, we got hit. Goblin pirates. And they robbed us.
Well, I can't necessarily speak for everyone, but I'm always up for making new friends, making new people are new what's the word new contacts. So if you can get us to Blackrock Isle safely and have a way for us to get back, then I'm sure that at least myself, I'm happy to help out in some way if possible.
Glad to hear it, though. It's easier to say than do.
We have certain connections within Barnacle that might be of use to you.
Yes, I don't know if you've heard.
What kind of connections are you talking about?
When he says that, I'll actually pull out my sort of like my sigil and like show him, be like, well, I might not be a pure elf, but I do at least hold some status in Barnacle. I'm a part of House why can I never remember things? Mantevale, thank you. Yeah, I am part of House Mantevale.
He doesn't take it from you, but he takes a look at it, just glances it over for a minute. I didn't know they let humans get these sort of pedigrees. Oh,
not all.
I'm seeing the caveats and the asterisks. Oh, okay. Well, they've kind of kneecapped you on a few of the points here.
Yes, I'm not an elf, unfortunately, but I do at least hold some status in the city.
You seem really generous, though. I mean, why? What are you getting out of that?
Well,
profit, of course.
Yes.
You're going to make us, profit, and you're going to be a ship that we can call upon when we need to go places.
As it seems like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. If I help you with your debts later on, then maybe I call up a favor at some point.
Lyda, gives a nice deep stare to Adriel. We shall see if it leads to that, human. One step at a time. One cautious step at a time. Well, obviously the 3 months elapsed. Bangar increased the amount that I was to repay him to 7,000. He gave me 2 more months. That elapsed. Really, it's been, I think, 6 months since my last due date. So
You're in deep shit.
I'm in deep shit, and there's bounty hunters after me.
It seems like you're desperately in need of some friends.
Well, let's not get too overplaying on that desperate there, but yeah, I've only generated 1,000 in the intervening time. I'm still 6,000.
You might not want to say desperate, but if it wasn't for my friend here, Wallykost, you would have probably been in a bit more shit than you're in now, perhaps even dead.
He gives his neck a little bit of a rub. Can't say I'm very fond of orc hands around my throat. I don't know. We might have made it out of that alive.
Oh, by all means, perhaps I should go. By all means, perhaps I should go tell the orcs where you're at. Maybe they'd give us some help.
No, Adriel.
Save your threats for someone else, boy.
Yeah. There's no point in making
Do not
idle.
waste such wanton words upon the shipmaster, says Lyda.
Yeah.
Shaggy gives a grunt from over the corner where he's sitting.
Speaking of Shaggy, Aygir this whole time has been paying half attention to their conversation. Also halfway kind of working over in his mind ancient ruins. Probably have pretty valuable stuff in there. A lot of history. And then intentionally distracting himself from that line of thinking by looking at what Shaggy is messing around with. Is it something mechanical or artificial of interest?
It's mechanical. Maybe not anywhere close to as sophisticated as what you have, but he's got some device that it looks sort of like a crossbow, but there's some other contraption affixed to it. And you can tell there is a tightly folded up net, like the weighted net weapon that's in some kind of delivery mechanism in his crossbow.
I'm gonna sidle up to him and
he's adjusting something on it.
I'm gonna just slink my way over there and address him in Goblin. That's a piece of
all the hair I can get to roll.
Oh, okay, all right. Is that how we're doing? That we're doing here? I'm almost as hairy as him, of course.
Let me get my hair out as well. Hold on a second, guys. There we go. There we go.
Hi, that's quite the piece of kit you've got there.
It's good for shooting when I need.
I am speaking Goblin, by the way. Is he not very wordy, even in his own native language?
This is Adriel now.
He seems to know how to adjust this weapon, so he seems good with his hands, right? But he's not well spoken, no.
Well, what are you doing to it, if I might ask?
Damn nut keeps sticking.
Have you tried oiling it?
I took it apart. Oil, a lot of oil, and I think I just need to get a new one of these coils here. I think it's been stripping out the nut. It's the third one I put in here in over a month.
Oh, you mean like this one? And he will pull out from one of his various toolkits a similar piece, albeit maybe made of brass, so it won't rust as easily. Yes, like one of these. I'm not a stranger to that type of mechanism. I've seen it before a few times.
You make this?
Well, made is a strong word. I modified it from an original that I found.
You are...
Merely copying old dwarven work, of course.
What tools do you have there?
He is taking sudden interest in the tool belt that you have on.
Well, I have this and that, and he will take a solid...
You have the complete set? Wow.
Probably a good, if he's allowed, 10-15 minutes to display all of his thieves' tools, tinker tools, smith's tools, cartographer's tools, and various other bits and baubles.
You show him that, and he's really impressed that you've got like complete sets, like of the same make, and they're in like nice quality.
I just make do with whatever I get.
Well, when you spend some time in a city, it's easier to come up with these things than it is out on, well, the steppe.
You should see the Flotilla Bazaar. They have many tools and spare parts. You can find anything you need there.
Anything.
The prices are excellent too.
I have been looking for a little bit more beef to my armor.
One time, I see the prices of Barnacle. I did not go ashore. I hate the land, but they brought. He points to a couple of the guys. They brought back some of the wares. It's double the price.
Well, Barnacle is at places hardly land, almost more like water, more like what is this named after than it is like solid land.
You won't find me there, no.
What are you going to do with that thing?
Well, there's two things I can do. One, I can shoot.
He takes a shot. He seems pretty good shot at it. Shoots at, there's like a target set up on a barrel.
And other special modification.
And this like rope weighted net thing comes out, like sprawls out midair, and just like overtakes the entire barrel, knocks it over.
You aren't going to go ashore on Blackrock Isles when we get there, are you? You really don't do land.
Maybe there'll be sea monsters. I fought them before. And pirates.
Sea monsters on land? That's awfully strange.
No. As we sail.
Ah, I see. That's what your net is for. Well, it could come in useful. It's a shame you never leave the ship. We could do with one of you in our crew. You seem not like the type quite so minded to backstab people. More of an honest fighter, but useful, resourceful.
You don't know me.
Aygir, stop bothering the crew.
He goes to recover his net and like
Not bothering him. I'm helping him with his work.
Yeah, so bothering the crew, yes.
Do you know how to replace that coil? I thought not.
Sure. So, Egg, are we welcome to stay on the ship?
He flips you a gold piece for the part.
Nice.
I think we've come to some sort of arrangement. Captain, can we have quarters on your ship? And I assume you'll be taking off soonish or soonest.
Hey, I'm ready to go right now. What about you?
We're ready to go as well.
All right, let's do this. Shank, go wrap up the books. We're going to raise anchor ASAP. All right, so they're going to be setting sail forthwith. And without further ado, you depart the land. And the sails are hoisted. And Maxwell and his immediate crew they're going to stay up for just a couple hours, and then they're just going to go to bed, and the night crew will be
I think it's a good kind of wrapping up point for the session, probably.
Yes, actually, I just saw that. All right.
We are near 3 hours somehow. Yeah.
Yes. But before we do, can I just ask what was in the bounty hunters' belt pouches and such? Can we get some rolls and stuff done for that?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
All right. So Wallykost and Adriel both are going to roll D100s. Cool. One of you can roll for gold pieces. The other is going to be for an item.
Wait, so say that again. So the D100s.
One of you, you'll both roll D100. One of you can roll for the gold pieces. The other can roll for an item.
So basically, do you want to roll for gold value or for possible items that we find?
I'd like the items. I think items are more interesting and
All
fun.
right, I'll just do the gold then.
Very well.
I mean, I do too, but someone's got to do the gold.
Mhm.
I got an 82 on the gold roll.
Good roll. All right. You find a total of 82 gold pieces.
Oh,
Just like what I told to Aygir. It's a mixture of coinages. There's like Drakestone, there's Orcish, and there's some other various ones in there.
Adriel, take 41 gold pieces.
41, you said?
Yeah, 41.
41.
Actually gets me to an even 100 gold.
That gets me to not an even number, but it's still nice.
There's also something else that I want to take care of after we do this. But it'll only take it's like just a cleanup thing, you know, like a small thing that we didn't get to last time because I was almost dead.
Adriel, D100.
Yep. Woo! Oh, it's a 74. Arms. Oh, wait. No. Sorry. 47. I read that wrong.
47. Okay. You find a gold-leafed book. Gold-leafed book. So when I think gold-leaf, I think it's like a small book, and it has these. What's the leafing? It's like these inlaid, very thin gold things.
Is it like plated with it?
Yeah, I almost want to say like the leaf has been like pressed onto the pages or something.
So a gold leafed book.
Or yeah, could it just be like gilt edged?
Yeah, it's what it was in my mind. So there's, think like a nice leather-bound artisan book, and then there is the detail work or scroll work on the cover that is inlaid with gold leaf, like the very, very thin gold, I don't know, plating paper, whatever you want to call that.
No, it's just a metal gold leaf. It's just very thin metal.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing. It's obviously elven work. This is not an orcish thing at all. Just straight up trade value would be, I think 50 gold pieces of trade value, or you could keep it. The contents of the book it is a personal, journal or log, though only one page has been filled out, and it had to do with an expedition that went from Sandbeer out into the region of Fortgrass. There's this big Fortgrass Sea region that's close to the lattice and beyond the farmsteads. And there's a few like blood spatters on the cover. You could look them up if you wanted.
Well, Walykos,
like an elvish, scrawling penmanship.
Well, Walykos, either these orcs were people who like to travel, or they killed the one who had it.
More likely than not, they took it from someone.
Yeah, they probably
That's
took
likely.
the bounty and kept that.
However, there's something else. Oh yes. Also, Esper, the thing I stole from Connor Spindle, the red sand hourglass. I'm secretly, because only Adriel knows I have this. I would ask to speak to what's her name, the cleric or the person who identified the magic item.
Lighted Dre, yeah. Well, like mechanically, she's closer to a bard.
A bard would be perfect. Yeah. I would ask to speak with her privately. I have something I would like her to look at that she might have some knowledge about. So I do this without Aygir and Vapor is basically the gist of what I'm trying to do.
Would Adriel be coming with you? I don't know. Okay. Yes, I'd come with it. Well, okay.
And in Lyda's cabin, they're small. It's a halfling ship, and their cabin, a halfling cabin. So
I feel like I'm really
claustrophobic.
Yeah, I feel like my shoulders are touching the ceiling.
Yeah, and she is lit an oil lamp, and she has her modest cot in her own little nook. And you also see on a table there is a pan flute. And she says, an arcane bauble. We must wonder what pain and what measures went into creating this thing.
Is she talking about the pan flute or the
hourglass?
Hourglass.
The blood red sand.
Yes, I'm quite curious myself. I was wondering if you could tell me anything about what this is, or perhaps it needs to be repaired for it to actually be functional.
I know not. To me, it looks to be an untrustworthy thing, perhaps cursed even.
Okay. So you think it's some sort of cursed item that would turn on its wielder if they were to try to use it in some fashion?
Or perhaps it places a curse upon another.
Hmm. Well, do you have any idea of how one would even go about utilizing it? Do you turn it upside down and the sand falls, out like a regular hourglass? Do you throw it and it just shatters and whatever magic it has will, go on whoever it shatters upon?
I can only guess.
Well, your guesses are better than mine. I'll take your guess.
Being as it is a sand clock, I don't expect it to have such immediate effects as throwing it and shattering it upon your foe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is how a life is taken, one small grain at a time.
No, I think life's taken, by a lot more than a grain at a time sometimes.
With this specific instrument,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
you must pay attention to the fine details. I am very specific with my words. Others are far too careless with theirs.
All right. Well, I will perhaps look into this more before trying to utilize it. I wouldn't want it to rebound upon me.
Oh no, you would want to avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
Observe it closely.
Okay. That's good advice. I think I'll do that. I put it away and I just turned to Adriel like, I think that's about it.
May your slumber be restful.
Oh, and by the way, I do greatly appreciate you healing me earlier. It was a kindness that was not something that you required to do, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Well, then you have my thanks as well for lending your aid, your skill, and your bravery in vanquishing those bloodhounds.
I look forward to
A cruel sort. Corrupt even, I would suspect. Who would take up such a profession?
Adriel kind of just looks at her a little bit like
A low cunning, perhaps a heart like a tarantula.
well, blood does pay sometimes.
But at what cost?
I would be interested in having further discussions with you on this, but it is late in the evening.
I am wearied, and you must be even doubly so.
I think I will turn in for the night, and we'll speak again on the morrow.
Good evening, newcomers.
Walykos. You may call me Walykos.
Good night to you, Walykos, and to you as well, Adriel. And she shuts her door. And as you are walking away, you hear the muted and soft sounds of a pan flute playing.
It's not the same pan flute that I gave her. Yeah, I didn't think so.
Nope.
Okay.
A fairly common instrument for Haven Isle, particularly among the small folk, halflings, and gnomes.
Well, I have a feeling who's going to end up with that pan flute if no one buys it. At least she'll appreciate it. But
with that, we're going to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. And one last huzzah for Wallykost not meeting a sudden and bitter end.
For sure. That was unexpected, I think, is really the word that comes to mind, because even if I hadn't, died to death saving throws, it would have felt kind of cheap. Like I wouldn't have had any agency in how things turned out.
Well, you did choose a serendipitous encounter. So
yes,
there was probably going to be a healing word with your name on it.
True. That's true, but
Or
it would have
you
felt
maybe would have successfully stabilized and like woken up in the hands of the bounty hunters and the party
4
would
hours later. Yeah,
a desperate rescue.
you're not wrong. It would have felt out of my control. At least I was able to control the circumstances by the pure luck of a natural 20. You know, once the 20 hit.
Mysteriously and miraculously fortuitous.
Yeah.
Well, that was an unforgettable moment, and I'm sure there will be more.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing you tell stories about years later. You're like, oh, that one time I nat 20'd when I got sneak attacked to 0 and no one else was there.
Everybody, thank you once again, and look forward to seeing you here in a couple weeks.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from now is the next time. Just for
2 weeks.
everyone to know. Yeah.
May 1st. Or no, May 2nd.
Very well. Until next time, see ya.
Yep. Have a great night, everyone.